Yo, it's brand new hockey happy hour coming at you right now. We got a lot of free agency talk going on here. A lot of, I guess we'll just say, issues with the Flyers organization. And we're here to have you guys vent. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share button as well if you're listening on Facebook. If not, just tell a friend. Let's word of mouth. Let's get this thing going. Frank, let's go.
Let's go! This ain't the puck night, or this game can heat stink!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Sensudi, along with the Darkwing, Brian Daly.
What up?
Mr. Brad Ryer. And the broken one himself, Rob Povia.
Yo, before we begin, I got a special message for Chuck Fletcher. Compliments of the Netflix series Resident Evil. I don't want you fired. I want you blacklisted. Not really.
And we welcome you to another edition of the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2DRadio.com, brought to you by, as always, Manscaped. You get 20% off plus free shipping with the code at A2D at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code at A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. Because you know what? The ladies don't like a certain thing. Bri, what is that?
Junk funk.
Yeah, they really don't like that. So do yourself a favor. Get Manscaped. Clean that shit up. And before you know it, you'll be living your best life. And you'll be living a more confident life. And that's very important in this world.
Pete Davidson approved.
All right, and today we ask a very important question on the poll, and the poll question is brought to you by one of the leading sports books out there, and that is BetUS. It is leading online sports book that has been in the market for over 25 years, and you can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. So it's not just hockey, not just football, not just basketball, not just baseball, not just the four majors. You could bet on everything, anything. So keep that in mind. And use that link that you see right down there at the bottom so that you can get 125% sign-up bonus. There's a lot of benefits to getting hooked up with BetUS. So the poll question for tonight is: the Flyers are failing this offseason. Agree or disagree? And now this is where we get to kick it to you, gentlemen, to give your opinion to the fam out there. Do you believe the Flyers are failing this offseason? Or do you think that no, they're actually doing pretty well? Take it away, gents.
I'll go first. What's up, Johnny? I see you in the chat. What's up, Dylan? It's going to be hard not to agree to this poll. I mean, you fell flat on your face. You knew what you needed going into free agency, and you had a superstar. Whether or not I agree with signing him or not, you had a superstar wanting to come here. You knew he was probably going to want to come here. You fell on your face. And I understand that you're not trading your 2023 first, because I don't blame you for that. And JVR is a tough move right now. It's gonna be more easier. It's gonna be a lot easier to trade JVR come the trade deadline, because they only have to deal with JVR for like a month and a half. It's an impossible contract to move at this point. Should have tried to do it earlier, or at least try to. I know you were getting more money out of the buyout for Oscar, but you could have bought him out too, or should have bought him out to begin with. And then you don't even. This isn't even an issue right now. I mean, you're still not gonna have the same cap room to sign Johnny, but you're tying your hands here. There's nothing they could do. And then they went out and signed really 2 free agents they didn't really need. You went out and signed Justin Braun and Nick Delorier. And I'm a Nick Delorier fan, but you failed miserably. That's all I got to say.
I don't know if you could say that you didn't need Delorier, and that's going to go into my reasoning why I actually disagree with the poll. Maybe I'm playing devil's advocate here, but I just believe that there was really not much that was realistically expected. So you can't really say failing. I mean, people can hate that Delorier contract all they want, for being 4 years, but this team was an absolute pushover last year, a bunch of snowflakes. And they needed to get tougher, and Delorier accomplishes that. They also put faith in Morgan Frost. They signed him to a 1-year extension at low money, I believe $800,000. Now he got to prove it now. But on the other hand, I will agree with you, Brian, in saying spending $1.75 million on Justin Braun was completely foolish. So they winning it. They D+ at best for not moving more players earlier in the offseason to maybe give you more wiggle room. If it not be for Johnny Hockey, if you're not going that way, well, there was a lot of other meat out there that you could have done to help retool this team. But I'm going to disagree with the poll, though. I wouldn't say failing.
All right. Brad.
I think they failed. And I'm not going by what they did or didn't do during the offseason. I'm going by what they should have done last year at the trade deadline. Okay? And if you have to decide, either you're all in to do it like what Blackhawks are doing, or you're all in to try to win now. It's one or the other. And the Flyers half-assed it. And what they should have done, if they wanted to rebuild, at the trade deadline, should have traded Cam Atkinson. You should have started looking at, if you wanted to sign a couple of really good free agents, like Columbus did, or like what the Devils did. That has to start by the trade deadline. You have to start moving guys out. You had Cam Atkinson, who you could have moved. He was having an excellent season, and I'm sure you could have moved him. Okay, even if you kept a little money, you could have moved him. And gotten some picks. The same thing obviously goes for JVR. I know he has an impossible contract, but again, if you were willing last year to eat some of the money last year, what is he making? $7 million? JVR?
$7 million exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so if he's making $7 million, are you telling me you couldn't have eaten 3.5 last year, taken 3.5, and then absorbed 3.5 this year to have him on another team? At least you'd have the $3.5 million in cap space. You trade Atkinson during the trade deadline. You'd have some more cap space. They wanted stuff, but then they didn't do anything. They weren't proactive about it. Problem to me with the Flyers right now is they are not proactive. They are reactive, and that is a problem. And until somebody gets in there, it's going to be proactive and decide, okay, this is what we got to do, and you know what, this is the plan. Instead of just waiting till the off season and then finding a coach and then figuring out what the coach's plan is. I mean, that you have to be proactive in these kind of situations, and they weren't. That's why they failed.
For me, I will agree wholeheartedly to this question. I believe 110% of the Flyers have failed this offseason. I feel like this just proves everything that we've been saying for a while now. This team is directionless. And on top of it as well, besides reacting to their issues, they're also trying to fix their problem right now instead of doing what they probably should have done, and that is invest in the future, which they clearly have no intention of doing. They would rather just sign a player like Delorier, whom, yeah, he's a tough guy, but you know what? You could have gotten other guys on the cheap that were tough guys. You didn't have to go and spend 4 freaking years and how much money on a worthless player who's going to be logging penalty minutes. And yes,
he's barely making $2 million.
Still, though, at the end of the day, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of space on a team. He really shouldn't even be there for 4 years. It's like, give the guy barely even what? Give him what, 800,000? Say, yeah, just go log some fucking penalty minutes. Like, that's literally the value that player has, and you're bringing him to the team for 4 years. That's a waste of time. It's a waste of salary cap.
You see, here's the thing. This is why I like the Nick Delorier signing. I don't agree with the length. I like the signing. Like Rob said, he's going to help this team from being pushed around. Even if McEwen decides not to come back, now you have Delorier in place. He's a great locker room guy to have. He's going to be a guy that's going to be there to help you create culture. That's something that this team does not have, is a culture in the locker room. He's a goon. He's going to like penalty minutes, but he's going to be the guy that's going to back up every single one of those players that's getting pushed around. That's what he does. It's what he did in Anaheim. It's what he did in Minnesota. And he also does have some scoring ability. He had a hat trick last year, for crying out loud. So the dude can score goals. He just doesn't do it that often. He just throws knuckles for a living. That's what he does. But he's a great guy to have in the locker room. He's a locker room guy. He's going to help turn that whole ship around.
All I can say is that I am dreading this season. I am absolutely dreading this season coming forward. If we are not in the same spot that we were this year, where we're second to last in the Metro, actually, no, I'm sorry, we were dead last in the Metro. What am I talking about? We're probably going to still be dead last this coming year. I mean, this team has done really nothing to fix itself. It is still a train wreck. Sure, you get a little bit more aggressive. Other than that, what did the Flyers do to fix their problems? Nothing. Not a damn thing. And yes, they did not have the kind of money that you need to fix the problem right here and now, which is, again, another reason why I kept hammering home, fuck it. Invest in the future. To hell with next season. It's not going to happen. To hell with 2 seasons from now. It's not going to happen. Invest in your future. Focus on that. You can't quick fix this. You've tried several times, and it's gotten you nowhere. It has gotten you, at best, one really great season under AV and decent mediocre seasons under other coaches. And then the revolving door coaches, too, didn't help nothing either, and GMs. Go back to the drawing board, get some stability, fix the team from the ground up. And that's not what they decided to do. And this is funny, actually. John even said Flyers failed because they lied. This upper management told us an aggressive retool was needed, and I feel like they failed doing that. No one is energetic about this season. I agree. I'm not really excited about the season at all. Brinkman's saying the Flyers are going to be a train wreck.
Here's the thing, though. I agree with Johnny. They lied. They lied about this being an aggressive retool. I think they're trying to go through a minor rebuild, which is part of the reason why they're trying to move on from JVR now. I think if he just flat out said, "Hey, listen, we're gonna break this down a little bit, and then we're gonna bring it back up, but we're not gonna do anything major," I think this fan base would have been okay with Johnny not coming here, and we wouldn't be in this situation right now. I think the reason why everybody's all up in arms right now is because he used the term aggressive retool, and they didn't get the guy that wanted to be here.
I mean,
if you use the term rebuild, fans are going to be like, okay.
At least, yeah, okay.
Now getting Johnny not landing Johnny makes sense.
Yeah. No, you're right. And honestly, to be fair, we've said this before. Actually, Brian, you've said this plenty of times. What would Johnny have really been on this team but white noise, as you've said multiple times? You know, it's another one of those things where even if you get Johnny, does he turn this team around? No, I wouldn't think he does. It takes more than one player to fix the whole problem that they're having, which, again, culture. We talked about that. Bryce brought it up too, and we've all talked about that. Everything from the ground up. That's what we need to fix, and the Flyers haven't even remotely addressed it. Still trying to put the Band-Aid over the cancer. That's all I'm seeing. It's like, oh, okay, let's put another Band-Aid over it. Promise this time it'll actually work. Sure it will. Sure it will. When you don't make the playoffs for the 3rd season in a row, don't come crying to me saying that, oh, I'm sorry, I promise I'll do better next time. No, get the fuck out. Because you said you were going to do better this time, and you fell flat on your fucking face like an idiot. And to be fair, I kind of knew you were going to anyway. So at least you didn't surprise me. And, oh well, it is what it is. See, that's how bad it is. Think about how I feel right now. I am feeling like this is the dumbest team I've ever seen in my life try to fix a clear as day problem. It's like the guy who's got a broken leg, yet he continues to try and walk on the leg. It's like, dude, your leg's broken. Go to the hospital. Go get it looked at. Go get it fixed. But yet the fucking moron tries to grab onto something and pull himself back up and put weight on it. It's like, stop it. Fix your fucking leg. The Flyers are that guy. They are that fucking moron who will not realize your leg is broken. Go to the fucking hospital. I know it's a lot of money, but you still have to get it fixed, or you're never going to walk again. Fucking fix it. And they refuse to. They flat out ignore their problems. It's amazing. I've never seen a team more in denial in my life. It is amazing.
I can agree with that last part, but wouldn't you think trying to get a Johnny Gaudreau and turn it around right now, wouldn't that be more of a Band-Aid instead of like building it all the way down? I mean, to Brad's point, they haven't done that. You know what I mean? They're in between, like they're saying one thing, thinking another, and doing a third thing. So I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to be better than you think. There's a lot of talent on this team that developed in the last 20 games that need to develop a lot more, but that you'll see some of that talent hit the ice, especially, or also in addition, some of the talent that was hurt and not even on the ice for a bulk of the season. We talked about it last night, Brad. Kevin Hayes, Sean Couturier, Ryan Ellis only 4 games into the season. Morgan Frost was out.
I mean, they had a lot of bad injuries last year. That there's no question about that. But again, the problem is that if they were serious about wanting to try to sign Johnny Gaudreau, as I said, they needed to start moving out salary at the trade deadline. Actually, you can go back to the All-Star break. That's when it should have happened. Okay, not waiting till the trade deadline. Start the All-Star break. You could see at the All-Star break that they weren't going to make the playoffs. Okay, they were already like 20 points out of the playoffs. Well, I mean, at that point, that's when you need to start making moves. And here's another problem. And hockey is kind of a lot like baseball. Okay, you know the old saying in baseball, don't tell me how great you are in April or how great you are in September. Okay, tell me what happened between May and August. You know what I'm saying? I can't be bothered with statistics at the end of the year when everybody has their garbage up from the minor leagues to take a look at their players to take a look at what they have next year. The problem is they were going up against less than talented players, on other teams. So even if they look good, that doesn't mean that's not necessarily going to come over to the following season. That's the problem. Sure. That's the problem. Now, if you brought somebody up in the middle of the year, okay, and they just killed it from the middle of the year on,
like Isaac Radcliffe,
that's one thing, but that's the problem. If they have a plan, they've got to start doing it this year. If they're gonna rebuild slowly but surely, if they don't get off to a good start, they got to start breaking the team down and start moving in that direction. They just have to do it. They're probably gonna have to wait till January when everybody has a little bit more room to pick up some of these salaries. But the Flyers should have been aggressive last year. After the All-Star break and start moving guys off the team. They seriously wanted to sign Johnny Gaudreau and just change the team around and start bringing in players that matter, that they want to keep. That's when they needed to make moves. Not wait till the offseason when they have $3 million and then desperately try to move guys. It's never going to happen. Nobody's going to take your players when you're desperate to get rid of them. They're going to try to fleece you. They're going to want your first or second round pick in the 23 draft. And the 23 draft, you got to keep your players. You can't be giving up those picks. There are just too many real primetime players this year coming out. You know, this isn't this past season's draft. This season, this off season coming up, not the one we're in now, but the one coming up next year. There's an incredible amount of talent coming out. You know, including the next one in Bedard. You know, it's not, and the Flyers really should have thought about trying to, if you're going to be bad, go all out. Do what Chicago did.
Brett, I think that's ultimately the plan. I don't think they ever intended on getting Johnny Gaudreau. Just Fletcher didn't want to say it to the Philly media and have to deal with people barking at him. But finally, it got to a point where, yeah, we're not giving up a pick. We're not moving JVR at this time. We're out on Gaudreau. It sounded like they had been the whole time. And what you're talking about, what they should have started doing last year, maybe that's the plan for this year to start building up for this big draft coming up.
Yeah, I think that's
your
what.
point
That's
real quick, Rob, was
that's what they need to do.
never offered Johnny a contract. They never made any contact with Johnny.
They don't have the money.
I'll be honest with you. When I found out that the Flyers weren't even getting Johnny, I was like, okay. Like, I really didn't even want him here in any way. It's like, what the fuck would he have done? He would not have turned this team around. This team is a shit show. What would he have done besides maybe score some highlight reel goals? Like, that's great. We still lost 5-4. Still lost. Who the fuck cares that he put on a highlight reel game right now?
I mean, as long as they stay healthy, I don't think this Flyers team is going to be as bad as you think it is. I just don't think they are. I mean, Ellis is the only real question mark. We know what Couturier is going to bring. We know what Hayes is going to bring. Hopefully Hayes can actually, you know, Hayes had a great second half of the year once he got himself together. He had a rough first half of the year, mainly because of his personal life. And I know a lot of people.
And he was hurt.
And he was hurt. But I was more concerned about, you know, everything going on in his head with his brother and losing his brother and all that. But I mean, let's be real. This team is going to be better next year. Are they going to be out of the top 10 better for the draft next year? No, probably not. Right. They're going to be better. I don't think they're going to have a top 5 pick, but they're going to be better.
Real quick, Ted. We talked about this last night that the long-term injured reserve may just be a cat move because, I don't think he's going to begin the season, but very likely first, second week in November. Hopefully, we'll finally see Ellis.
Yeah, they have a key. They're honing in on what's bugging him, and they're going to get him healed up and back on the ice sooner than later.
Oh, you're hearing the same? Good.
Yeah.
Ted saying here, we spend money on nobodies. Fletcher is never ready for the unexpected. Matt Tkachuk is out there, but no way we paid a bunch of bad players. We're the New York Knicks of hockey now. No, listen, I would not even.
You're
again,
not even close. That has to happen for 20 years to be the Knicks. Okay.
Which is just a shame. There's certain organizations that shouldn't go through that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really a basketball guy, but I'll root for the Sixers local. But the Knicks should always be a good team. Like the Lakers should always be a good team. Like it's just surprising when you see that type of organization go through 20 years like that. You say 20 years, Brad?
The Knicks, yeah, pretty much.
Oof.
I mean, since Patrick Ewing got traded and then retired. I mean, they had a couple of good years, and then they went and got Stephon Marbury, which was a big freaking mistake. And then they got Carmelo Anthony, and Carmelo Anthony was a great player, and he did everything he possibly could, but he didn't have any help. You know, you can't play 1 against 5. You know, and then the fans would boom. Oh, he's only got 22 points tonight. You know, well, you know, for them to win every night, he had to score 60.
Right.
You know, he was surrounded by garbage. When they finally got a few decent players on with them, you know, when they brought in Amari, and I don't remember who else they brought in that one year. I think 14. Where they brought in Amari, and he got a little help. They had a pretty good point guard. I can't remember right now. They made the playoffs. They beat the Celtics in the first round, but they ultimately got smoked by the Miami Heat because the Heat had LeBron and and Bosh and Dwayne Wade.
The whole crew. Yeah,
they had that whole crew. So, but I mean, for the most part, they're not even in the same universe as the ineptitude of the Knicks.
Right. Well, let's say to Maddie, also to your point too, like you're fearful of what this team could be, right? Well, what if it is on that lower end of the spectrum? Would that be the worst thing in the world in terms of having a better chance at higher draft picks in this stacked draft, or does it not matter because the draft is that stacked?
I mean, at the end of the day, if they were to get a higher pick and the team was that shit, then it's like, okay, fine, we got a higher pick out of that. But my problem is that this team just doesn't want to invest in the future. They want to try and solve the problem now. And it's like, fuck it. It's not going to work. Just invest in the future. If you got to suck for 3, 4, 5 years, I don't care. I don't give a shit. Let's be dead last. Let's get those number 1 picks. Why the fuck not? Let's fucking clean house on our development and let's bring in some strong development coaches. Let's go full bore into let's have a really good actual youth movement. Let's not try and do it half-assed like we did last time. Because, to be fair, half-assed is what got us into this position in the first place. Because that's all this team does is half-ass this shit. They never want to fully embrace a rebuild, and they never want to fully embrace change. They just want to keep on doing the same bullshit year in and year out and pretend that it's okay. They just want to keep throwing money at the situation. And then they say, oh, well, we brought in a couple of young guys. I'm like, yeah, great, wonderful. We still can't win a fucking cup. Are you going to solve this problem or are you not going to solve this fucking problem? And they said, well, we're just going to keep throwing money at it. Okay, fine, whatever. You keep doing that. You keep beating your head up against the brick wall. Maybe one day after your skull is split, you'll figure it the fuck out that what you're doing is not going to work. You know, you see other teams realize, you know what, we kind of need to rebuild. We're not in the position we need to be in right now. And yeah, they suck for a little while, but they fix the problem, don't they, gents?
Are the perfect example of that.
Yes. They fixed the problem because they realized, yeah, we're not in the right position we need to be in. Yes.
And they traded some guys that everybody really liked. They
Yes.
traded Matty Zuccarello, who everybody loved him. Okay, he was traded. They traded Kevin Hayes. Nobody really wanted him to go. They traded Ryan McDonough. They traded JT Miller. You know, they went and they moved a lot of guys, but they also picked up a ton of first round picks, moving all those guys, and now and cleared out a lot of cap space. And now look what happened. You know, now they were able to clear cap space. They bring in Panarin. They steal Mika Zibanejad from Ottawa, which obviously you can always make a trade that works out. It's not impossible. But then you get a bunch of real good draft picks. You know, and with all those draft picks, you know, you're able to trade a couple and pick up a prospect like Adam Fox. You know, and you bring in a guy like Ryan Lindgren, who again was part of the Rick Nash deal. You know, and Keandre Miller was a first round pick that they got from I can't remember whom, but you know, he's a very good young defenseman. You know, and now Braden Schneider, they were able to make a deal for him and get him right before the Devils could snatch him. Because if you remember when they drafted him, the Devils were all pissed off because that was the guy they wanted. You know, it's just there's little things, and it's all because they were willing to get rid of some very, very popular veteran players whom nobody really wanted to see go. And there's a lot of Ranger fans who are still pissed off about Zuccarello, by the way. I mean, more than you would possibly believe. But sometimes you gotta just do that. I mean, you can't sit on these guys forever. Like Cam Atkinson is a classic example. He's still pretty good. He has some trade value. You could probably get a very high pick for him in next year's draft. You know, if you trade him.
Yeah.
You know, but the longer you wait, you know, the more likely it is it's going to be hard to trade him.
Tort's going to want to hold on to his boy Cam. Watch. I agree with you.
He will, but in the long run, he's got to know that there are certain guys that have to go. You know, you're not going to be able to trade. You're not going to be able to trade Kevin Hayes because you signed him to that long. What is it? A 7-year deal? He's got 5 years. Yeah, he has 5 years left. Okay, but unless you were able to get rid of Jake Voracek, so I mean, anything's possible, right?
Yeah, certainly. But I feel like already the team, and then Tortorella comes in here, they believe that he's a piece that you can rebuild with, not around, but with. And if he continues, like, I mean, he was a very productive scorer this season, to your point, to where he has trade value. If he maintains that, they might want to keep that around. You know, I mean, it really just all depends on where they're at in the standings, really.
What is he, 28 now? 28, 29?
He's in his 30s.
No, he might be. Yeah, I think he's
Hayes?
30, 31.
Kevin
Okay,
Hayes? Oh, I thought you were talking about Kevin Hayes
Cam,
might
you
be
mean?
30, 31.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Atkinson's 33.
I know that. I thought that's who he was talking about.
Yeah, no, I was talking about Hayes' age. Hayes is like 29, I think, or 30 maybe at the oldest. He was. I mean, the Rangers got him when he was 23 in like 2014. So
He is 30.
he's 30. Yeah, that was 9 years ago.
Yeah, recently he just turned 30
yeah.
May.
The math works. Yeah. But anybody.
DB, by the way, said, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. What up, fellas? What's up, DB?
Yo, DB.
Let's see here. Ted saying, with Torts, it's not like we have this terrible coach. Can we fall into the top pick? I mean,
You can catch a break. You can catch a break and win the lottery.
could catch a break. The Flyers will
so
fuck it up
sweet.
somehow.
No, they'll
He
give
ain't really tank anymore.
If they came in last, with their luck, they'd end up getting the third pick instead of the first pick.
Yeah, right?
That's what happened to the Knicks. Okay.
just like
and end up with the third pick, and instead of getting Williamson or John Morant, they get Barrett. Not that Barrett's bad, but I mean those two guys are obviously light years better. You know, unfortunately.
I'll say this about the Flyers' lottery chances, just like Joe Pesci in the drive-thru, they fuck you in the lottery.
Yeah.
DB saying the Flyers are every dad that breaks his back while working on the car in the garage. He won't give up changing that last spark plug to win Dad Championship of the Year. Yeah, and then goes on to bitch and complain, drinking a whole bunch of Bud Light, thinking about the good old days because that's how hockey's supposed to be done. Yep, that's pretty much the Flyers in a nutshell right there. John saying, we should have completely blown it up. I'd rather rebuild than feel like I'm being fed the same old shit. That's pretty much where my feelings are right now, because that's exactly what we're being fed right now. Same old shit with a little bit of sugar sprinkled on top called candy. Then you're like, here you go. Have fun. Enjoy that.
You know what? It's a lot easier to deal with it if you know that that's what's going on. That's why when the Rangers were rebuilding, okay, anytime somebody trolled the Rangers or was trolling the Rangers, I'm sitting there, I'm saying they're doing the right thing, and they're going to end up being contenders very soon. They got too many first-round picks. You know, first-round picks don't always end up being good players. Sometimes they're busts, but when you get 8 of them, you know, in 4 years, you know, you're going to get at least one of them to be good.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You know, I mean, it's just, you know, it's kind of like if you're out in the ocean on a boat, okay, you throw a fishing rod, you throw a line in the water, okay, you have 4 fishing rods, throw 4 lines in the water. You got 4 times better chance of catching a fish than with 1 line. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're really.
Yeah. Hey, the Rangers drafted Lias Anderson in the first round 1 year, and we all know how much he sucks. The fans call him Lisa, and he got traded to the Kings. And every time when the Kings came to Madison Square Garden last year, every time the guy stepped on the ice, they were chanting Lisa at him. You know. Listen, not everyone is going to work out, but the more, as I said, the more worms you put on the hook, the more chances you have of getting that one guy that might really be good, like Fox. You know, that he's a perfect example, or DeAndre Miller. You know, those are the examples. But or you know, if you have enough picks, you have enough picks, maybe you can end up getting lucky in the draft, in the lottery too, and get a guy like Kako or LaFontaine. No, I wish we had LaFontaine. Lafreniere.
Lafreniere.
Yeah, I mean, the kid scored 19 goals last year, and he's 20 years old.
Yeah, found it.
And none of them, and he
Found
had
it.
zero. He had 0 power play goals last year, by the way.
What I find funny is when everybody was so happy that Lafreniere was not going to go to the Penguins, he still went to the Rangers. I'm like, why is everybody so happy? He's on the Rangers. Did everybody forget the Rangers are in our fucking division all of a sudden? Like, what the hell?
And
The Penguins blinders.
we are hated.
Yeah.
We are hated in every arena except Madison Square Garden in the Metro Division. So,
Well, there you go, right?
we know that. We know that. You know.
Let me see here. We got Troy saying, yo, what's up, Troy? We got Damien chiming in. Hey, guys. What's up, Damien? Hopefully everything's going great down there.
Brother from down under.
Hell yeah.
The problem is everybody improved so much in the Metro. And I don't know how much the Flyers improved. I mean, especially the Devils. They didn't. Did they not? Did I hear correctly that they got what's his name, Kadri from Colorado? Did I hear that correctly, or was that talk?
I know they got Andre Palat. I don't know.
That
if
was
they
a
got,
good move. Did they get Kadri?
Kadri's still available.
He is still available. Okay, I thought I heard them say that they got Kadri.
Sniffing. They're probably sniffing around that. That could be a good team fit.
Yeah, they get him. See, if they get him, that's another big time player that they're going to add. I mean, and they got rid of Subban, who absolutely stunk. And
he was well past his prime by the time he got there.
he can't even. I mean, has he even been signed yet? I don't think anybody's even signed him yet.
There's a lot of players that haven't been signed yet.
No, I don't think so. So let's see here. We got Kyle chiming in. What's up, Kyle? Saying Hayes is slow and overpaid. JVR gets paid to stand in front of the goalie. Nobody is shoot first on this team. We traded Jake, who drove the net. G is gone. We haven't replaced any skill guys who left.
Very few
What
lies
skill guys
here.
have we had?
Besides G, yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
What skill guys did they get rid of?
Well,
I'm trying to remember who was the skill. The guys that they got rid of were playing terrible hockey. That's why they got rid of them.
I mean, you had, like I said, the only person last year in particular we got rid of that had skill was G. That was it. The only person.
Well, did they waive? They waived Mayhew too.
For him, though.
They went and grabbed Owen Tippett.
I agree with Rob. They waived Mayhew, who was having a good season.
They did. Yes, you're right. You're right.
But I will say this though, real quick, that if the plan is just to infuse with youth, you may have that shoot first mentality already on this team, and Bobby Brink, and eventually down the road Tyson Forrester. So there's already some rebuilding, like the Rangers collected those picks and those first rounders, right? That process has at least started, and now you can add to it greatly. They added to it pretty well this year with Cutter and Gauthier and others, and then obviously next year they could add to it like gangbusters. So, but you got to, I think, to the commenter's point, you got to shed some of those guys that are just clogging up. I mean, but Brad, you said tough to move a Kevin Hayes contract, but I feel they could easily move JVR as the season goes on, as well as others. TK. You know what I mean? If somebody's looking just for a scrappy guy that'll get in the other team's head for a playoff run.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. Look, there's those kind of guys. Those kind of guys they can definitely trade, and they can probably, JVR, if he has a good year, hopefully he's going to have like 20 to 25 goals at the trade deadline, and you could probably get a first or a second for him. I mean, you never know.
Sure.
There's a lot of, they can do kind of what Winnipeg did to the Rangers with Andrew Kopp. You trade him, and if the team advances a couple of rounds to the playoffs, the second becomes a first or something along those lines.
And that kind of shows that waiting could be prudent, where you would have had to have given a first-round pick to get rid of JV's contract. Now you can, in turn, get one back if it goes on that storyline.
Dylan's talking about something that's kind of relatable to that, where he's saying the Flames are about to cash in on picks with Tkachuk, Backlund, Tanev, Markstrom, Toffoli, and maybe Lindholm. So, in terms of rebuild or retooling or what have you, Flames now have a stockpile going on. So not the worst thing in the world to have a bunch of draft picks, albeit, though, I guess the Flames are getting tired of the process. That's the only thing I could say on that one. But,
yeah.
Troy's saying, really sad what the Flyers did to Brian. Brian had optimism a few weeks ago, and now it's gone and dead. Now that's just because I came back.
It's the fan base that really killed it for me. The fan base is just full of fucking morons.
Dude, that is true. But no, Brian should be on cloud 9. I think the Ducks have had a pretty good offseason so far.
Great offseason so far. Signed 2 huge names that I think are really going to help out this team.
Okay, gentlemen, so here I have a list of the offseason moves that the Flyers have made, and we'll talk about pretty much our first period of the Flyers offseason here. And obviously, I'm sure you guys did get a chance to talk about some of these last week, but little review never hurt nobody, just in case. A lot happens in a week.
We'd love to get your opinion, Matty.
Thank you. At least somebody does. No.
I had my fingers crossed off screen.
Yeah, right. And our first period brought to you by eXp Realty. If you are looking to buy or sell a home, or you're looking for a change of career in brokerage, contact Alan Foy at eXp Realty LLC at 302-682-8820, or visit him at alan.foy at exprealty.com. It's a big move in life when you pick up your stuff and you go to a new home. You want to make sure that you do it right. Alan Foy is the guy to make sure it's done right. eXp
And Matty
Realty.
knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. I learned a very valuable life lesson in terms of moving. Always hire a moving service. Never do it yourself. You will pay the price. All right. So let's see here. On to our Flyers move. John, send a list of Flyers moves they made. Insert fart noise. All right. So off-season moves so far. Basically, the regular categories: retired Keith Yandel, Sam Moran because of his injuries, Yandel because he's old. And let's see, extensions. We move on. Nick Seeler got a 2-year extension. Linus Sandin got a 1-year. Felix Sandstrom got a 2-year, so that's interesting. All right, we'll talk about him in a moment. Morgan Frost got his 1 year, like Rob talked about. Would like to see him show something here. Yeah, I know he's had his injury problems, but obviously they still have faith in him if they decide to give him that 1-year extension, that he can turn into something. Players that got signed away from the team, Maxim Sushko being the one. He wound up signing with HC Dynamo Moscow in the KHL. Don't know if that's because he wanted to leave the Flyers organization or if because Putin's holding him hostage to go fight in the Ukraine. But either way, who knows? Moving on. Buyouts. Oscar Lindblom leaving the team. I'll be honest, when I saw this, I wasn't a huge fan of it. And I'm going to be completely honest. The reason why is so you won't invest time into a young player, but you'll invest time into guys like Delorier. You'll invest in them, but you won't invest in Oscar Lindblom. The fuck? It's what am I missing here?
Oscar needed a change of scenery.
Maybe he did. I mean, he did go to San Jose, so I can't get too mad. He went from one team to the other, so I can't complain too much. But, yeah, Oscar getting bought out. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but hopefully he'll turn up well in San Jose.
Too many people are – I mean, this is why this fan base is full of morons. Everybody got a little too emotional because he's a cancer survivor. And everybody got all butthurt because they released him. And like, oh, what a priceless move. Okay, great. He survived cancer. Great for him. Seriously, I'm not trying to be an asshole about it, but great for him. it's still a business at the end of the day. He survived cancer. Great. It's not a classist move by an organization trying to make themselves better.
No, I mean, if you're trying to make yourself better, that's fine and all. It's just, I wish they would give him a little bit more time, but they've given Konechny so much time. Why can't they give Lindblom more time?
Guys,
Konechny's really the one that should have been gotten rid of, to be honest.
Because Lindblom's been given for 4 years? He could have been right behind him.
I don't know. I just feel like
TK at least has two 25-goal seasons?
one.
I'm just saying, like, let's think about this for a second. Listen, I'm on board for trading TK because he needs to change the scenery. Whatever is going on with him is not fitting here in Philly anymore. But to sit here and say you'd rather hold on to Oscar than TK is a little bit ridiculous because TK at least has proven he can score goals in this league. I'm still waiting for Oscar to break the 15-goal mark. I'm still waiting for him. I believe he's broke the 10-goal mark maybe once. TK's broken 24 twice. So we know that he can be a 30-goal scorer in this league. I'm still waiting to see what Oscar can prove.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Sorry, I'm a little bitter tonight. I apologize, boys.
Yeah, actually, I will admit, some people are no notes. I'm all notes. I figure I have resources. Why not use them? 24 goals 3 times in his career, 3 years in a row.
Oh, 3
Thank
times.
you for proving my point even more.
Yeah, exactly. I was undercutting him. He, showed consistency and then went downhill. He just lost the mental edge that it takes to be successful in hockey. And I mean, maybe Torts could put some fire under his ass.
Maybe.
Like, yo, you going to be a weasel or you going to be a hockey player?
He had 52 points last year. Is that so terrible?
Yeah, he picked it up. Yeah, he did it. Yeah, he threw up a lot of assists there, like after they started falling out of it. And to your earlier point, they were facing lesser competition because teams were resting guys, starting to rest guys.
That's
when
the
they played
thing.
the Flyers.
That's what pisses me off about Konechny. That's what really makes me mad, and why I wish we would just fucking move on from him. He waits until it's garbage time to start fucking doing something. It's like, you know what?
Right.
Fuck you, dude. You get to pick and choose when you want to be good. Oh, I'll be good when it's too fucking late. How about when we needed you to be clutch? Where the fuck were you then? Okay, fuck you, Konechny. You can't do shit when we need you to, but then all of a sudden when it's too late and we're fucking done and we're out of the playoffs, now all of a sudden you want to play like an all-star. Suck my fucking dick. Shut the fuck up. You ain't worth a goddamn penny if that's how you want to fucking act in this league. Fuck right off. Fucking scoring how many goals? Great, you did it in garbage time. Fucking amazing. I'm so proud that you're on our fucking team. Fucking worthless sack of shit. Unfucking believable. It's fine that you can score goals. Great. Do it when we fucking need you to. Don't do it when the team's dead fucking last and there's no shot of making the fucking playoffs. Great fucking job, dude. You don't know what the fuck you're doing, or you can't be consistent, or when you're good, it's too late. Shut up. Get the fuck out of here. I'd rather have fucking G back. Jesus. Sorry. Konechny pisses me off with that crap because he's fucking annoying that way.
Don't apologize. I was just saying that, Maddie, try to go through that producer reel and find the Matt Rant video.
Hold on, time out. Let's back up a second. Ted, when did I compare TK to Oscar? All I was saying was Oscar needed to go before TK did. I'm not comparing the two players. They're two completely different players. So, I don't know. You call me Howard Eskin? Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Ooh.
And Kyle saying TK's best highlights are when he's mic'd up chirping the other team. Could use some highlight goals to go along with it. And Troy saying, well, damn, tell us how you really feel. Well, have I ever not at this point? I mean, should. See, that's the other thing, too. Any type of television personality who's told, no, you can't be negative. Fuck them. Seriously. Tell the world that they all suck. How about that? That's a real commentator right there. He'll tell everybody right there that you're a worthless sack of shit. There you go. That's a real person right there. We're telling you that you suck. Anyway.
Also, Kyle, I completely agree with you with what you said earlier. I'm thrilled that he survived, and you know what? I've had family that didn't survive, so I'm happy Oscar survived. I'm happy he's back to playing hockey. So I'm wishing him nothing but the best in San Jose, and that he can get his career back on track.
Hopefully. John saying the bubble playoffs killed TK's game. Hasn't been the same since. That is true. It's never recovered from that. Hi, Dan. I'm in the dark because this is a work in progress. This is the new home. So still working on a few things. Still, taking care of it. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, that's that Howard Eskin one. I was wondering where that one was. There it is. And let's see here. Dylan's saying, apparently the Devils are willing to make Dawson Mercer available for Kachuk. Give me a first Mercer and whoever, and I'm sold. Interesting.
You've got to do better than that.
I like Dawson Mercer, though. Dawson Mercer has, he's coming off a pretty solid rookie year. I
understand that. Going. We're talking about Matthew Tkachuk, who is a premier player. Okay, and he is in his prime right now. Okay, you can do a lot better than that.
It's Dawson Mercer at first, and he said another player.
Okay, who?
I don't know. Who else does he want?
Another player could be
Jasper Bratt and Dawson Mercer in the first. I think that's good enough.
Jasper Bratt makes it. Now you're getting a little warmer.
Yeah. Probably a little.
Who does he even say that
Jasper
they're
Bratt,
even willing to deal with Jasper Bratt?
If you're including him, yeah, he's pretty good.
Jasper Bratt's very good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, I can't stand the Devils. I hate giving them any credit for anything, but he's a good player. I
agree.
I like him.
Ted saying this fan base is mad because the team's been turned into a dumpster fire. We're allowed to be mad. You're damn right we are. We expect better, but I don't know why. We should have realized how stupid this organization was years ago.
Let me throw a quick random question to you boys, right? Because
sure.
I mean, we've seen it for a good year and a half, if not longer, where there's been a lot of Chris Therien out there posturing, criticizing this organization. Do you think it could be potential posturing for wanting to put a group together to purchase this team and turn it around?
I mean, if Therien could make that happen, I mean, that would be – I would take that. I mean, what did you say, Brian?
Can Therien get a group together that can find like $2 billion?
Yeah, that's the problem.
He's still tight with Brian Propp, and I know Brian Propp from over at WCRE and whatnot, and he does a lot of commercial real estate. There could be some money to be found. I'm just saying it seems very almost just like a politician trying to create a movement. You know what I mean?
But that's a lot of money, though.
It is a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money. You're right. That's why I asked, because I wasn't sure if it was a totally idiotic thought.
No, it's not idiotic. It just depends on. It depends on who. I mean, does he know? Is he that well connected? That's the question.
I'm not 100% sure.
Ted was saying Therien doesn't have the money. He's just mad because the Flyers fired him.
Well, they shouldn't have fired him either, but that's besides the point.
Let's see here. Ted was also saying that Brad was a breath of fresh air. He doesn't agree with your sports teams, but he said you were a great addition to the show.
Well, thank you.
And Rob, John said that you did the Razor Ramon fingers there.
Yeah, I had a weird dream last night that I was back in a WCW ring with the NWO. It was crazy. It was so vivid.
Nice. Wow. That's a good dream, though. I like that. That's a better dream than most.
Remember this one?
The Diamond Cutter.
Oh,
yeah. D-D-E.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here. As for the releases, players that were not coming back to the Flyers, Karel Ustamenko was let go, so that's interesting. That clears up the goaltending side of things there. Brennan Minnell, Nate Thompson, Nasty Nate, no longer a Flyer. To be honest, he was barely here on his second run because of his injuries, so not really much of a loss there. Ryan Fitzgerald, Matthew Strome. That was Dylan Strome's brother, right?
Dylan and Ryan Strome's brother.
Okay, you gotcha. And Adam Clendenning. And then the final one is Martin Jones. So that leaves us wondering who will be backing up Carter Hart this year. Do you think it will be Felix Sandstrom, since he did get an extension? Or do you think that they go looking for somebody else?
I think it'll be Felix. He's been kind of groomed almost to a backup role.
Okay.
Same, I agree with Rod.
Yeah.
And oh, sorry, Brad, go.
No, I agree too. Go with your kid that you've been grooming.
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
Maybe the guy ends up being better than Hart. You never know. You never know until you see him out there.
That's true.
Competition's never a bad thing. Never a bad thing. But unfortunately, the third member of that competition is stuck in Russia for being a defector in Fedotov. Which is a real shame, because I think, he's the guy that could really, push hard to be his better best. And I was even looking at it today, like all the numbers in the different various leagues today, preparing for the show, and looking at some other free agent goaltenders or whatnot, like looking at Ville Husso, who I'll talk about a little later in the show, right? 25, 26, and just starting to really show what he's capable of. People just forget that Carter Hart's 23 years old. So I'm going to remind you again, he's 23 years old. So, but I think being in that clear-cut starting role where there's no potential competition for the starting gig, it's never a good thing. I think it's good to have competition that brings out players their better best.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is, if you don't let these young guys in goal hang around and play, you never know what you're gonna. Look at Ilya Sorokin on the Islanders. He's a perfect example. I mean, Varlamov was their goalie.
Yeah.
Varlamov was clearly their goalie, but you know what? They gave him a chance to be the backup, and you know what? All of a sudden, he ended up being the starter last year. And he got when they were trying to make a run to get back into the playoffs, he was the one that was out there every day, not Varlamov, because he was playing better.
Yeah.
You never know.
Sometimes you got to have that. I mean, obviously the Capitals tried it with Vanacek and Samsonov for a period of time, see which one was going to be the better one and who wanted it more.
They weren't. Neither one is good.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens.
That can happen too, where they both stink and they're both gone. Which we'll talk later in the show about Toronto, how stupid they are. But
I mean, that's usually when you're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, and then you're pretty much just like, we're supposed to be a competitive team, right? Yeah, we're fucked. Anyway, let's see here. Dylan saying, add Holtz, Sharangovich, and Bachvis to this deal, and it's a win for Calgary to lose a guy that isn't planning or re-signing, basically. So that's what he's looking for out of the deal.
Adding Holtz to that actually wouldn't be a bad idea.
I'm just shocked that I thought out of the two, they at least keep one, but they're just it's just getting blown up. I guess Calgary must apparently be a shitty place to live.
Yeah, I mean, they were saying Kachuk is this is tail spinning because of Johnny leaving, and Johnny left because allegedly he thought it was a better option, but his wife wasn't happy there. So
my father grew up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
He was born there and he grew up there.
Interesting.
You ever tell anything about it? Like, you know what I mean, in terms of the locale?
Well, when he was growing up, it was a dump.
So I guess not much changed.
Yeah, but he said they've made it a lot nicer than it used to be.
Oh.
But don't forget, my father was born in 1925. So I mean,
Right,
you know,
right.
if it's a dump in the if it's a dump in the 40s and the 50s, it may not necessarily be as bad now. He said that they've upgraded a lot. I actually have a lot of cousins that live in Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so I mean, it is what it is. Half of my family is from Canada, so my
Well, there
father's
you go.
all from Canada.
So you could be an
Nice.
expert on the Western Canada teams.
Not really.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I hated the Flames because when they were in Atlanta, they used to use and abuse the Rangers. So you know, whether it was Phil Muir or who was the other goalie that they had that used to kill them? Lemelin? Yeah, Lemelin. Between
Yeah.
Lemelin and Muir, the Rangers couldn't score on them.
Of course, I think Phil Muir also wound up playing for the Flyers too, ironically. So there you go.
Did he? Yeah, he did. That's right.
He did, yeah.
Lemelin too.
Yeah. Who? Lemelin?
Yeah.
No, I don't think Lemelin played for the Flyers. Just
You
Muir.
know what? He played for the Bruins.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
But, no problem. Swoopy, what's up, man? Anyway, let's see here.
Swoop. There it is.
Yeah. Patrick Phillips saying Carter. And he's saying Carter Hart is the man. DB had a comment funnier.
Fuck yeah, he is.
DB had a funny comment earlier, too, where he said that, you know, Torts fixed Patrick Laine, so he should be able to fix Carter Hart just fine.
Well, look what he did with Bobrovsky, though.
Bob. Good old Bob.
Yeah, but he ended up being pretty darn good in Columbus.
He was. Yeah.
Let's not forget
Good
when
point.
they beat Tampa Bay 4 straight, when Tampa Bay had 130 points, when they swept them.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That whole that was because they won that President's Trophy. You just don't win that fucker. That is what happens when you do that shit.
Torts figured out a way for Columbus to also knock off Toronto in the first round a couple of years ago, too, in the bubble.
I'm gonna say this. I don't know if that is so much on Torts as that is just Toronto being Toronto and just not being able to win anything, period.
He didn't have the talent to beat those teams.
Toronto has plenty of teams to beat a lot of guys. They never do.
Yeah, but I mean, really, Columbus a couple of years ago,
I know.
They just didn't have a lot of talent on their team.
I'm sorry, Brad. I'm trying to shit on Torts. Okay, I'm sorry.
Watch Tortorella throw mud in both of our faces, Maddie, and come in here and pull a Mike Keenan and just take a bunch of young dudes and like rise them into a contender.
Listen, if that means
watch
that
him do it.
If I got mud on my face at a Stanley Cup parade because of what Torts did, I ain't gonna fucking complain. I'll be
Nobody
honest
liked
with you.
Mike Keenan either.
Mike Keenan.
Brad will tell you that.
Mike Keenan was tough.
He was.
And boy, if you were a goalie, was there ever anybody meaner to goalies than Mike Keenan?
There's great footage of him when he was coaching in Chicago. Ed Belfour was ignoring him. He grabbed Ed Belfour and pulled his ass right on in and was just yelling right into his face. It's like, damn.
AB is close. AB is close.
He was really good at musical goalies, though. Like I remember, he would pull Hextall when he got pissed off. Okay, and if the Flyers got back in the game, Hextall went back in the game. I mean, I can remember him doing stuff like that. And I was like, what? But he was a great coach.
He was. I mean, he did win a cup. Can't take that away.
Was good, and he got the most out of his players. That's for sure.
So, not to change your subject real quick, but I looked a little bit more into Ted's comment here.
About the story?
Carter Hart could be in some serious trouble.
Really? Let's see. Ted saying
apparently there's some sexual how do they call it?
Scandal?
Sexual assault scandal. And Carter Hart and the rest of the 2018 Team Canada is involved.
The World Juniors.
Mm-hmm. Back from 2018.
From years back, coming
It's
out to
5
play.
years ago.
Shit.
Some of the names that haven't been cleared yet: Carter Hart, Colton Point, Jake Bean, Dylan Dubé, Taylor Radish, Maxime Comtois, Sam Steele, Alex Fermenton, Drake Batherson, Brett Howden, just to name a couple of the bigger names in there. Only one player so far has come out and said that he's aware of the allegations and that he's going to do what he can to cooperate in the investigation. The NHL is going to throw.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see what this investigation says. Hopefully, it isn't anything serious.
I know what the problem.
Well, I mean, it's going to be serious. But anyway, Rob, what were you going to say?
Whether he's involved or not, but I know what the problem is that we didn't have Jimmy on the case to protect these poor women.
No. Yeah. Oh, man.
Tune in on Mondays to find out the backstory on that one.
So,
in case you don't know.
So obviously, yeah, we'll have to keep an ear to the ground on this one about these allegations and the investigation. We'll see what their findings are. Swoopy, not everything. It's getting there. I still have to go through a few. I'm actually downsizing while I'm here because I realized I have a lot of shit. I got rid of a bunch of stuff. Then I realized I still had a bunch of stuff. So now I'm like, crap. Now I got to downsize even more. So once I get that done, I'll be able to unpack everything. Anyway, but I do like the new place. So hopefully, it's nice and cozy in here, actually. I like it. Let's see here. Dan saying Vancouver is better than all the other cities.
How is that?
Well, Dan's from Vancouver, so he's going to say that.
Is it pretty? Is that what he's trying to say, or?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, do we really care about that?
I mean, I don't really necessarily do, but apparently he does. It hosted the Olympics in 2010, so I mean.
Okay.
By the way, I saw Obi-Wan Kablomi or whatever his last part of his name was. What's up, man? Glad to have you on the show.
What's going on, man? How's it going, brother? And a very creative name.
I love the Leo avatar there.
That's very creative.
It is.
I tell you, that's. I wish I could have thought of something like that. That's.
It's just when you think you've seen the pinnacle of usernames, sometimes somebody comes along and they just up it just a little bit further.
Yes, they do.
And he's saying, thoughts on Kachuk trade to the Flyers? Psych, that'll never happen. But if we could trade TK, JVR, Frost, and maybe a prospect, that would be great. I don't see the Flyers moving defensive parts. Interesting.
Well, JVR is going to move at the trade deadline. It's going to be easier to unload him.
Yeah. Troy's saying
it will, because the thing is, nobody wanted the Flyers to get Gaudreau, and if they took Van Riemsdyk, then it would be their fault if the Flyers got Gaudreau. And God forbid if the Flyers were good again, everybody would be blaming that team. So it is what it is. So listen, from what I heard, they were only going to save like $3 million this year if they bought him out. So would it really have been worth it?
Bigger picture, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're able to trade him at the deadline,
what are you going to do
next year? We already know that they're not going to be a major factor this year.
I mean, what are you going to get for him at the trade deadline? You might not be able to even trade him at the deadline. You might not even be able to take him. I'd rather take the 2.7 that they were going to get back for the buyout and just be done with it and have to wait 4.5 months to the trade deadline.
Yeah, but then you'd be having to eat his contract next year too. Because you don't get you get that, and then you probably have to be eating but for 3 years you'd be eating like $2 million a year, right? Something like that.
I mean, it depends on the agreement they come to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't. Yeah, that's true. It's not. There's nothing ever
I mean, they spread out the last couple years of Bobrovsky's over like the span of 9 years or something like that, where they're only having to worry about paying him $1 million.
Well,
So it depends on how they break down that agreement.
I have a funny feeling also after next season, you're going to see the cap take a huge jump too.
Well, they should be coming out of the flat cap within the next couple years.
Oh, I think
Next year or two.
after next year, this season they had record-breaking. They made a record-breaking amount of money. I mean, the NHL made a fortune this past season, so there's reason to believe that they're going to probably, they're not going to raise the cap a lot this year, but probably next year they will.
It's possible. I don't know how much they're going to raise, but it's definitely going up again next year. Probably another couple million.
Yeah, but that could be that's a lot though if it goes up a couple of million.
No, I agree.
That's pretty key for a lot.
No, I agree.
So.
Well, let's see here. Like John's comment saying that I don't have to get rid of anything. Pornhub is free, brother. When I said downsizing, I didn't mean that. Have a little bit more faith in me, dude. Come on, brother. Anyway.
Yeah, man, you got to put up the Kyle Elliott comment. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope Carter Hart's legal defense won.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and I'm about to pull that one up. Kyle saying, "I hope Carter Hart's legal defense is better than his on ice defense." Oh God.
That's fantastic.
Just don't
I don't mean to laugh. It's not a laughing matter, but that's funny.
Just don't have Provy and Sanheim be your defense team. It will not end well. Oh, Kyle saying Flyers would move JVR to get Johnny Hockey. Why the hell would anyone believe they were going to make a move for Tkachuk? And by the way, Don saying, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Don?
What's up, Dave?
What up, Don?
And Ted was wondering if there was any official story on all that. Brian, you read that was an official story, right?
I mean, that was trending on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
I will say this though, real quick though, is that the only way it would make a little more sense if that maybe they were waiting for a Tkachuk move, right? Is that you're talking about a guy that's 4 years younger than Johnny at 24, with a rebuilding team that's a little better.
I agree.
But I still don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I mean, I got a funny feeling Tkachuk's going to wind up signing for more money than Johnny.
Right. Could.
And let's see here. So
age 24. He's excuse me. He's young.
Yeah.
He's really young. I mean, he's not the kind of player you want to trade at all.
He doesn't want to be there anymore now.
Trade him just because that doesn't matter. He can't force a team to trade him. He can cry all he wants. What's he going to do? Sit out? He sits out, he won't get paid. So that's not going to happen. Only NBA guys do stuff like that.
He's an RFA, so it's not like he's technically under contract right now.
Yeah, but he sort of is because they have the right to match still.
They do.
Yeah,
and
this is his first RFA situation. So if they have the right to match or get a first and a third round draft pick for him.
Look, I mean, listen, I know you don't want to trade a guy like that, but Calgary's in a situation where their hands are tied again. Yeah, you trade Tkachuk, you get what you can get back for him, and then you move forward. There's no sense in having a guy like that in your locker room. It's going to destroy the locker room. That's why you trade him. 24, 28, 38, doesn't matter his age.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he had some year last year. You take a look at his numbers last year: 42 goals, 62 assists, 104 points, and plus minus, he was plus 57. Plus 57.
Yeah.
Dylan is saying here that Tkachuk is a UFA in the offseason. Flames rather get value for him now than have a Johnny situation all over again. Flames elected club arbitration to avoid an offer sheet.
What a season he had. Basically, if you're plus 57, that means that when he was on the ice, he was outscoring the other team almost every night.
What happened, Rob?
I forget what the number is now. I think I'm not going to look it up because I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in the high 50s. Mets batters have been hit 58 times this season. McNeil's first at bat in the All-Star game, he gets hit in the foot.
Oh Jesus!
Swoopy saying, I'd
crazy.
rather have.
That's
Brady.
crazy, Rob.
Right.
Swoopy saying, I'd rather have Brady, even with him not being the more offensive guy. Brady's style fits more of the Flyers tradition. And let's see here. And Obi-Wan Kablomi says, plus 57. Yeah, that guy's good at hockey. No, he's not. No, he's terrible.
No,
he's absolute shit.
Well, it's a byproduct of the system and the team, though. I mean, the overall team had a pretty good goal differential. You know what I mean? Played good defense, had some good
I
goal
understand
scorers.
that, but plus 57.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Man, I mean,
Yeah.
could you imagine being that superior to your competition?
Dylan saying Boston's also interested in Kachuk, but I want Pasternak for that. I highly doubt Boston will do that. So,
I think that's not a
I don't know that they might.
completely out of the realm of possibilities.
I don't know that they wouldn't.
I know Pasternak has had his feelers put out that he may not want to stick around in Boston.
Boston is kind of at the end of the line right now.
Well, yeah, but then why would you go to the Flames that are kind of going into the same position, you know? But then again, he can't control anything of what happens because he doesn't have the no trade clause. So it's not like he can tell them, no, I don't want to go to Calgary. Boston could say, well, too bad you're going to Calgary.
If you package the right deal together, Calgary is not really falling apart as fastly as some people think. There's still a lot of good players in place. Boston's in much worse shape.
Yeah.
They still haven't signed Bergeron back.
Yeah, and Boston is so
All right, now Rob's making me intrigued. I'm going to turn the All-Star game on.
their top players are all 32, 33, 34.
Yeah, Boston's in worse shape.
Yeah, I mean they're one of these years somebody's going to kick the seat out from their backside, and they're going to fall flat on their butts. It's only a matter of time. It's just like the Penguins and the Capitals. Those three teams. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. I think with the Capitals, I think it might be this year.
Out of the three, yeah, I could see that possibly happening.
Who was it that they got playing goal for them now?
Boston.
Kemper. Oh, Boston. I thought your Capitals.
I'm asking. I'm asking if it was Boston.
Yeah, no, Washington. Kemper, right?
Kemper, yeah.
Yeah, they got Kemper. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think he's going to play well like he did in Colorado for Washington?
I think Kemper was on the receiving end of really great defensive play, although it wasn't completely all on that. Kemper did play well. Can't take anything away from that, but I think it was more of a team effort there than necessarily one goal. The goaltender standing on his head every night.
I mean, they replaced him with Georgiev. Okay, and for Ranger fans, the name Georgiev, when you say his name as a Ranger fan, you think the same way you did when Jerry Seinfeld used to say Newman. Okay? Every time Georgiev,
Hello,
Georgiev. It's like Georgiev is in goal. You know, you don't even want to move your teeth because you're just annoyed.
So let me see here. Let me finish.
Blazers are nice.
Let me finish up with what we got here. Not much left here. Just the signings and then the trade. And there's really only one major trade. So signings here. Justin Braun, 1 year, which I do not understand that move whatsoever.
I think it was just to make the Rangers look bad.
Because they got something and then signed him back, maybe.
Right. They traded for a third-round pick, and then they signed him back, so they got a third-round pick for nothing.
Right.
Third-round pick for nothing. Yeah.
And Rangers actually got negative value for his poor play.
Yeah, but you know what? Compared to Patrick Nemeth, he was Bobby Orr out there.
Okay. That's true. Little years experience.
Rangers had to trade a second-round pick to get rid of Nemeth.
Right. But Flyers signing him back. That all you're doing is costing a young defender, like an Attard or a Wiley or even Zamula an opportunity at the NHL level. It's so foolish.
I know.
But they could trade him to the Rangers again for a third-round pick in the
there you go. That's what this is about for trade deadline. I see.
Could be. I mean, listen,
You sure?
What did they pay him? Like $1 million?
175.
1.75, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? How many teams are looking for a good veteran defenseman in March?
Yeah. Sometimes it's not about playing; it's about commodities. It's about assets. It's a good point.
A good veteran depth defenseman for a playoff team is never a bad investment.
Yeah.
Nope, true.
Yep.
Just saying,
So let's see here. Besides Braun coming back to the Flyers for his second stint, Cooper Merity, 2 years, Nick Delorier, 4 years. We already talked about that. Adam Brooks, 2 years. Troy Grosenick, 1 year, who's goaltender. Kevin Connaughton, 2 years. And Louis Belpedio, 1 year. So Kevin Connaughton coming back, which I didn't mind Connaughton's game. How much did they pay him? Does anybody know by any chance?
I didn't even know that they did sign him back, but he's a good depth piece.
Yeah,
I
didn't mind
agree. He's going to be your 7th defenseman.
Yeah, I didn't mind his play. Let's see here. So now to the trade, and we all know what trade this one is. And then we extended him too. Tony DeAngelo coming over to the Philadelphia Flyers with a 2022 7th-round pick in exchange for a 2022 4th round, a 2023 3rd round, and a 2024 2nd-round pick. That is what we gave up to go get Tony DeAngelo. When I heard about that deal, I wanted to throw Chuck Fletcher off of the bridge before. Now I want to castrate him before I throw him off the fucking bridge. Because, are you fucking kidding me? Tony DeAngelo? What the actual fuck are we doing here? So, how long is it going to be until Tony DeAngelo pisses off Torts or Torts pisses off him? And they get into a fight in the locker room? How long? How long are you thinking here, guys?
I think he's matured a little bit from his experience with Rob Brendamore in Carolina. And we were talking last night that he's a guy that can quarterback a power play. Both him and York could do some damage, whether it be the first unit or second unit. But I don't want to defeat your point, but I actually kind of like the move.
I love the move. I think it's great. And he's in his mid-20s. Like, you got potential. You still got a potential top 4 defenseman. I mean, I wouldn't have given up as many picks, but I mean, there's still value there. But fortunately, the bulk of the picture in 2024.
I mean, what you said could happen, Matty. But yeah, I'm with Brian on this.
I mean, I don't see it happening, especially now that he's got a couple friends in that locker room. And like you said, Rob, he's matured. Listen, I was down here all year with Tony DeAngelo. I didn't hear a bad thing about him. I've heard nothing but good things about him in the locker room. Players actually liked him.
It is easier to be more mature when the team's winning. Winning will bring that out too. So, I mean, it'll be in the pudding when he's on a team that's not winning.
No, and I agree. And like to Matty's point about the fighting, let's remember, Tony DeAngelo did not start that. Georgiev threw the first punch. Actually, he headbutted him. So you say what you want about Tony DeAngelo. I think he's going to be fine here. And I think having Kevin Hayes here, who's actually a really good friend of his, and Cam Atkinson, I believe they're friends as well. I think that's going to be good for Tony. I think he's going to be fine here. And I think he's going to be really, really good on the power play.
Mike Stanton going, yeah.
Giancarlo just went nuts on that one. Oh.
I still call him Mike.
Yeah, no.
Good, I'm watching
We
Batman.
call it by his correct name in the Bronx. So that was 457 feet. That one.
Yeah, that was a shot.
So Anthony, he agrees with you guys. He loves Tony DeAngelo trade.
He just
Swoopy is saying should have signed DeAngelo last offseason when he was released. It would have been for free. Did they not do it because of Ryan Ellis addition? Was it because Ellis got injured and needed his replacement?
That's my guess. You know, I mean, just as a you get a backup plan. You know, because Ellis was supposed to come back last year. He's not guaranteed to come back in November, but
I see. You know, the funny part is a lot of people would expect me to be mad about that, but it's like I can't even really be mad because it's not even like the other players in that deal did anything either. So it's like, you know what? That was just a fail all around for all three teams.
right. But Swoopy made that point last night, though, Maddie, the first half of it, that they did drop the ball. If you're interested in Tony DeAngelo, why didn't you get him at pennies on the dollars last year instead of giving up picks for him this year?
I mean, I'm probably to see what he does and see how he reacts to everything that happened last year to see if he matures as a player instead of, I mean, putting him in that situation. And to answer, who was it? Who was that said something? I think it may have been Swoopy's comment, but you go after Tony DeAngelo right now because you need a defenseman. You didn't draft the right-handed defenseman in the first round. You took Cutter Gauthier, which is a move that I absolutely love for this team. You needed a right-handed defenseman that can control the power play, and that's Tony DeAngelo. Because you don't know when you're getting Ellis back. You don't. I mean, obviously, hopefully sooner than later, but yeah, you bring in Tony because you need that.
Buck going back to back.
Boy, Byron Buxton hit a bomb too, but compared to Stanton, that was a hop fly to the infield.
And
Only
then
425 feet. Come on, Stanton did 457.
So let's see here. Swoopy saying, "Go get Elias Lindholm. He'd been a great fit. I'll definitely trade TK and a Forrester."
No,
I don't know about the Forrester part. You can have TK. You can have TK with my blessing.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because this is I wanted to ask you guys this for a while, even when I chimed in on your show. Why is it that Scott Lawton always scores goals against the Rangers?
I don't question it. I just enjoy it.
I think it's because he's strong up the middle.
Yeah, well, I mean, every time I watch a Flyer Ranger game, he scores a goal against them. And I sit there and then I take a look at his numbers and like, he doesn't really score goals against anybody else. Is this like a Boston, what's his name on the Eagles thing with the Giants or what? Boston thing with the Giants? Because that guy kills the Rangers, and I'm taking a look at his stats, and I was gonna say, you know, Lawton's a pretty good player too, and then I took a look at his numbers, it's like, what the hell?
What it is
why us?
I mean, Lawton is a good player.
Lawton is a fun player. He's that player that will score on you because you least expect him to. And when he does, boom, he strikes. It's not just against the Rangers. He's done this to multiple teams. Hell, we call him Superman because we'll make the home run pass to him and he'll get a breakaway and he'll score the goal. And we'll win a game. It's like, just leave it to Lawton. He'll get the job done. He can't score any other time, but he'll score that clutch goal, and that's all that fucking matters.
I mean, every player has that team they're just comfortable about.
It's not my imagination either. I'm telling you, he scores a lot of goals against the Rangers.
Yeah, it's like Zibanejad with the Flyers. It's like Crosby with the Flyers. Everybody just has that team that they're just comfortable playing, and it's just easier for them to score goals against because they have their number.
And Zibanejad against the Canes.
And then Johnny Gaudreau against pretty much everybody last year.
Yeah.
And then Obi-Wan Kablomi says it's like Zibanejad versus the Flyers. That's actually true. Zibanejad does like scoring on the Flyers.
Yeah.
Anthony saying Flyers need to get physical last year, and now the Flyers getting physical players to protect Carter, Deshaun Watson, Hart. Now everyone is complaining and bitching. And then
I think they're bitching about the 4 years, though. I think that's what they're bitching about.
4 years, yeah. The 4 years can go fuck itself. But
4 years was. I mean, the Rangers went and got Ryan Reeves, okay, but that was a 2-year deal.
That would have been fine if we had signed Nick Delorier to a 2-year deal. I wouldn't be bitching. I would absolutely not be bitching.
4 years is too long for him.
Ted saying if Ellis wasn't hurt, DeAngelo doesn't get traded here.
All right, so real quick, Sam Steele's comments on what's happened and his name being thrown into the mix. He said, this is from Jerry Johansson, the president and CEO, I'm assuming of Team Canada. Sam Steele did not engage in any misconduct that has been described in the media. As far as I know, No one has alleged that he did so. Sam has cooperated with every investigation into the matter, but he intends to continue to cooperate. Both the NHL and Hockey Canada are planning to investigate further, and while that is ongoing, Sam can't comment further, so please respect the process.
Gotcha. All right, then. So we'll just have to continue to wait and see for the rest of the process for everybody else. So, all right. So that's it's a continuing developing story. So we'll keep our eyes and ears on that.
Well, I hope for your guy's sake that he didn't get himself in any trouble. I don't like to see that at all.
No.
I don't want to see people doing stupid stuff and then getting themselves in it, thrown in jail over it. That bothers me when people do that. Hopefully it's not the case.
Yeah. And Swoopy saying, Brad, are you mad at losing shoot first Frank Vertrano to Brian's Ducks? You did get a big free agent in Vincent T.
Now that's a good question, Ryan. Now when these guys asked me 2 weeks ago, who is the least guy I wanted to lose in free agency? Okay, who did I say? Do you guys remember?
I think you said Vetrano.
It was Frank Vetrano. Because Frank Vetrano got the puck and he would shoot the puck. Nobody had to tell him to shoot the puck. I mean, every time he got it, if he was at center ice, he was shooting the puck. Loved Frank Vetrano. Plus, he's a nasty little son of a gun, and he's an annoyance. And he's just the kind of player that you love to have on your team. But the Rangers could not afford to pay him $3.6 million when they had to get a number 2 center. Because they were not going to pay Ryan Strome $5 million.
Which is actually really funny because Anaheim wound up signing him too.
I know they did. Listen, I like Ryan Strome. Don't get me wrong. Okay, he improved the Rangers, and the Rangers improved him, and it was a great combination. But a lot of people think in New York, including the Rangers upper management, that Ryan Strome is really a thing from playing with Panarin, that a lot of his numbers are skewed because he plays with Panarin, and that if he didn't play with Panarin, he wouldn't be getting all these points, or wouldn't be scoring all these goals. So, listen, is that a fact? We're going to find out. Listen, I like Zegras, but right now Zegras is not Panarin yet. He might end up being Panarin, and he certainly has a lot of talent, but he's not Panarin, not yet anyway.
No, he's just coming off his first full season, so
exactly.
He's still got a lot of room to grow, and he's going to be. I think he's going to be better than Panarin. I think he's got the potential to be. He could be.
Listen, he could be
level.
He could be the best player in the league in 3-4 years. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying right now, Ryan Strome. I just don't think Ryan Strome is going to be as effective with Anaheim as he was with the Rangers. And the other problem is Ryan Strome couldn't win a face-off if his life depended on it.
He couldn't win the face-off if the puck was actually taped to his stick blade.
He really could. And listen, as I said, I like Ryan Strome. You know what? When the Rangers got him, okay, he hadn't done anything, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he started scoring. And just because it pissed off the Islander fans so much that we got their first round pick from, I think he was their 8th round pick, the number 8 pick in the draft before they got him, and he was a bust there, and then he was a bust in Edmonton, and then he came to the Rangers, and all of a sudden he's scoring 17 goals and getting like 40 assists. That drove the Islander fans nuts. So yeah, that's another reason why we kind of really liked him. But when it comes to, if you're going to compare him to Vincent Trocheck is really good. I mean, he's a really good player. I think he's good at both ends of the ice. He's real good on faceoffs. He's going to score a lot of goals, especially playing with Panarin. And I think he's a perfect fit as the second line center.
All right.
Great.
So we're going to move on from the first period, go into the second period. with all the comments and everything that everybody's been throwing out at us. We thank you guys very much. Keep them rolling in. And they are brought to you by Gleason's Bar and Grill, located at 6700 Mill Creek Ave in Levittown, PA. You can use the promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or online at Gleason'sBarandSteaks.com. And we now move on to asking the all-important question in the second period. And the second period is brought to you by All Campus OC. They're giving 20% off of everything in their store, including hats, shirts, to all of our subscribers. Great store down in Ocean City. So anytime you're in Jersey, or if you're, of course, living in Jersey right now, or PA, and you want to go down to the shore, head on down to Ocean City. Check out All Campus. John Coyle, great guy, runs the shop. He does the ramp booth. Definitely check that out and wear your team colors with pride. All Campus. All right, gentlemen. So now, question. Feel free to take your time with this. Do you think, in your honest opinion, looking at the moves and looking at the roster, or a rough estimation of the roster, do you think the Flyers can compete with the way that the whole thing is going right now? Now, keep in mind, we had a 100-point standard last year in the East just to make the playoffs. You had to break 100. So, do you feel like that might carry over this year? And do you feel as though that the Flyers can compete?
Hell no. Fuck no. No. They'll be
No.
better. But they're not. No. There's still going to be a lottery team next year.
Rob, what are you feeling, man?
Robbie's on break. Go to Brad.
He's on break. All right. Well, Swoopy, I believe.
88 points, I'm thinking, for the Flyers next year.
Yeah, I mean, that might not be good enough.
No, it's not going to be good enough. I think they're going to improve. I think they're going to be better, but I can't see more than 88 points. I mean, if they get any injuries at all, they just don't have the depth to be able to, hang in there with these other teams. Also, the Islanders are going to be better. You know that they're going to be better this year, and Columbus obviously is going to be much better with Johnny Hockey and Granson. I mean, how can't they be? Columbus was not that bad last year either.
Everybody thought they were going to be bad last year, and they actually wound up being pretty good.
Yeah, they were not bad at all last year, and now all of a sudden their problem was scoring goals. But you add him, you add Johnny Hockey on a team, with Gaudreau. The team has Gaudreau now. You add him to Patrick Laine, and Boone Jenner as your first line. That is a hell of a first line, man. I mean, seriously, what can that first line not do? That's one of the best first lines in the division.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at it, Boone Jenner has become a flat-out star. You know what Laine can do, and obviously we know what Johnny Gaudreau can do. The only question is, would they keep them together, or would they break them up?
I mean, the way I look at it right now, in terms of how our division is and in terms of the way that everything is based on, I think the Flyers are definitely not going to make it. That's a hard sell, especially if 100 points is the standard again. It's like 100 points, you got to hit 100. And that isn't even a guarantee, because there were teams that were getting 130-something points last year. And even they weren't first place. Some were getting 140s. So, again, we're talking a lot of points that you got to try and get.
That's literally 20 games over 500.
Yeah. I mean, Florida, I think, was the one true candidate besides maybe Colorado. But for the most part, when you think about that, if that's your standard, if you start getting to 100 points as being the average of what it takes for you to even be considered in a playoff spot,
in place, you had to get 100 points.
Yeah, it's just
That's asking a lot.
Yeah, that's asking too much. For this team, no. I don't think it happens. And
I definitely think they're going to be a better team this year, without a doubt. Maybe 88 to 90 points, but 100 points is a lot to ask out of that team. I mean,
and I'll be honest. To be fair, that's another reason why I kind of looked at it. It's like, well, if you blow it up, you can kind of wait until it cools down a little bit in the East, because right now it's fucking ridiculous over here. 100 points, and that doesn't even guarantee you a spot. It's like, maybe we should wait a moment or two and let this cool the fuck down and let these teams start to depreciate a little bit. Maybe then we start to see the points come down a little bit.
They're depreciating right now, right?
What's up?
There are 3 teams that are depreciating right now.
Washington,
the Bruins, and the Penguins.
Yeah. They're the 3 obvious candidates.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
But the problem is that they're – see, I don't even see the Flyers knocking at the door of either one of those teams either. I don't even think they replace either one of them. I think there's other teams that will replace them instead. Like, I mean, obviously Boston's a different story because unless they're in the wild card race, which maybe they would be, but they're also in another division if they were competing for another spot. But overall, I would say I don't even see the Flyers knocking at their doors to take them out.
Well, also, you remember that Columbus is a lot better, the Devils are a lot better, and the Islanders are going to be a lot better too. That's the problem. This division is really, really a monster tough division. I mean, it's really loaded, and you have to. You may have to get more than 100 points to come in fourth in our division. That could be the whole problem, really.
Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, I apologize for stepping away. I did hear you firing that question at me while I was gone. Thank you.
No, it's okay.
I'm going to answer it in a slightly different way. I don't want them to compete this year. I don't want them to be bad. I want them to finish dead last. Just like that. I want Connor Bedard. I want Connor Bedard on this team. That's an organizational game changer. That's a way that could easily turn around this organization and really be symbolic to where the Flyers came in the early 90s when they were where we were asked the question, is this the lowest point in Flyers history? No, I would think probably 90-91, that season, albeit maybe not as poor in the standings. That was a bad team. I mean, their number 1 center was Keith Acton. I mean, they had an aging Timmy Kerr. I mean, but he still had some value. But that was a bad team. And what turned that team around was trading for 88. And Bedard will be better than Eric Lindros. 1,000%.
Let's hope.
I agree with you.
Interesting.
And then all these other pieces that we've collected around, their value will get heightened. You know what I mean? And you think about Joel Farabee, like we talked about. I'm trying to think. I'm stumbling. Not Bobby Brink, but another young guy that looked promising. Isaac Ratcliffe, who he was brought up mid-season before we were getting the drudge of other teams and was performing very well. They just wanted him to get more seasoning with the Phantoms. But talk about having a nose for the net. Still got Wade Allison, who didn't play a lot last year, due to injury. There's a lot of pieces here, but you need that focal point.
The only problem you have with that is that the Chicago Blackhawks are also trying to be horrible.
It'll be Patrick Bean and JVR all over again.
They could be the flies in the ointment. I mean, who the hell trades a 24-year-old player like DeBrincat for draft choices that scores 40 goals?
Right. I will say this: if what you say comes, if this comes true, Rob, and the Flyers are like dead last, they get Bedard, and they put two players are on his line, and they become like the hottest thing in hockey. Do we, instead of calling them the Legion of Doom 2.0, should we call them the Road Warriors? And then that way we've got it all covered. Okay, we had the Legion of Doom in the 90s. We got the Road Warriors here in the 2020s. We've got both sides covered. We had the WCW side covered and the WWE one. It's perfect.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, I don't mean to compare Bedard to Lindros because totally different players. This guy's a pure goal scorer. You know, only 17 years old, 5'9", $175, but threw up 51 goals. I'm sorry, excuse me, 57 goals, including his time with the under 18 Canadian team in the WJC, but in the WHL, which is a pretty, competitive league, 51 goals, 49 assists for 100 points. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Interesting.
For a 17-year-old player.
17 years old.
Yeah, they're comparing him to McDavid.
That's a big comparison right there. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's legit.
Friggin' McDavid just drops freaking like 80-point seasons like it's nobody's fucking business. Like, yep, just another 80 some odd points.
If McDavid had 80 points, I think everybody would be shocked. He's getting like 110, 120 points now.
Yeah, good point. I'm underselling him.
Yeah.
That was in 62 games, by the way. That 100 points. 62 games.
Sorry, again, imagine if that had been the full 82. Holy shit. Holy shit. Whew. I'll tell you this. If he winds up, and this would be crazy, so we're all pretty much assured Ovechkin's going to break Gretzky. Imagine if McDavid comes along and breaks that right after Ovechkin did. Ovechkin didn't even have time to let that sit in and soak in. Connor McDavid just said, "Oh, nice job there, Ovi. You don't mind if I just push you down to second and take first again, do you? Thanks, man. You're a real bud. Thank you."
Well, I don't think McDavid's not the goal scorer that Ovechkin is.
Okay, true.
Connor McDavid's the more all-around. So if he has a shot at any Gretzky's records, at the rate that he's going, McDavid has a shot at the points record.
And if he breaks that points
he's
record,
got to stay on pace.
He does have to stay on pace, and that's a very hard pace to stay on.
You're asking the guy to get almost 3,000 points.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot to ask for, but holy shit, the fact that this guy could roll in, maybe he won't break that, but holy shit.
Remember, Gretzky has 2,000 career assists.
Yeah.
Okay, he has more assists than anybody has points. That's how much better he is than anybody who's ever played the game. That's ridiculously sick. That's like Babe Ruth before Hank Aaron came along.
Yeah. But to think that we're talking about this with Connor McDavid and we can actually have this debate and it wouldn't be too far gone out of the realm of possibility is actually pretty great to think about that with Connor McDavid. Like,
I mean, if you think about it now, Connor McDavid's 25 years old and has almost 700 career points.
Whew.
At 25 years old.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Well, he could end up with over 2,000 points. But remember, Gretzky only had over 2,000 assists. He had 897 goals, right?
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
So, I mean, he needs to get like 3,000 to catch Gretzky.
Whew.
That's just, it's asking a lot. I don't think that Ovechkin is going to break Gretzky's record, by the way.
Really?
Oh, I think he will.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I think that Father Time is going to catch up with him before he's able to get that many goals. I mean, he's just not that.
If I'm wrong, he's under 120, I believe.
Right, but how many more years do you think he can play at the level he's playing?
Well, what was the contract he just signed? He signed another 9-year deal, right?
He signed for 9 years?
Ovi?
That's what his contract was.
He signed 9 years? Holy shit.
Well,
he really... Whew.
How old is he now?
Hang on, it may not have been 9 years, but he signed another fairly long-term deal.
36.
Maybe he might have signed a 5-year deal worth like $9 million or something like that. Maybe that's where the 9 I'm thinking of. But
Okay,
Yep,
that makes sense.
5 and 9.5. Yep.
Yep.
Still
He's
5
30
years.
He's 36, and he's going to be 37 September 17th.
I mean, the 5-year deal though, that makes total sense. You know, like because I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like he's not really slowed down or anything. Sure, you know. So I mean, I
He's
can
slowed
see
down. He slowed down a lot, but he still has a great shot.
Slow down. He scored 50 goals last year.
Yeah, I
didn't say
know.
he slowed down.
He basically no, but he doesn't skate the way he used to. Though.
He doesn't have to skate. He just
He's
puts himself
a
in
lot
the circle and he just fires. That's all he does.
Well, he also
That's all he needs to do.
He also, if he gets in front of the net, he's almost impossible to stop because he's so big and strong.
Now, if he does break Gretzky's record, I think we can all officially say, okay, if he breaks the scoring record, we then have to officially have a little box put where that circle spot is and call it Ovi's office on every single rink in the league because it's like, you know what? Ovi scored on every single one of these. Let's just put his fucking office right here and just call it a day.
You mean on the off wing at the faceoff circle?
Pretty much, yeah.
Ovechkin only needs 114 goals to break the record.
That's a lot, though.
That's over a 4-year span. 114 divided by 4. He only needs to average 28 goals a year.
Maybe he can do it, but can he score 28 goals in his 40s?
Why not?
So far, he hasn't really shown any signs of aging besides, like you were saying, the skating. His goal
He's
scoring,
probably
though,
going
is
to put up
still
another
up.
40, 50 goal year next year. He's probably going to put up a 30, 35 spot the year after that.
Is he?
I mean, if his
I'm just wondering because 37 is old for hockey.
it is, but his
I mean that's real. It's, I mean, like baseball, 37 can be old, but you can still do a lot of things at 37. I'm not so sure you can be a great player in hockey at 37. I just don't know. That's old.
In today's NHL, like the way it was played, there were a lot of aging guys that played a long time in this league that into their 40s. That was actually much more common. I mean, you even still have Yager playing now and overseas or whatever as an example of today. But the game's too fast for a 40-year-old is my point now.
That's what I'm trying to say, and I don't know that. I mean, the Capitals' power play this year sucked. Okay, because they knew that their power play was dependent on Backstrom passing the puck to Ovi in the slot. Not in the slot, I'm sorry, in the off-wing face-off circle and have him fire away. And, you know, teams know that he's going to do it. So I just don't know that he's going to have to start going to the front of the net a lot more. And he did do that a few times this year. I noticed against the Rangers in particular. He scored a lot of goals against the Rangers this year, and they were all in front of the net.
So Ted's saying that the NHL should
his skating ability has nothing to do with how he scores goals. He scores goals just by staying put, and that's what he does, and that's how he scored 50. He's good. He's gonna break the record. He's going to. He's not slowing down yet. If he was going to slow down, he would have slowed down probably within the last year or two.
Okay,
he's something different. He's something special. He's just a pure goal scorer.
Yeah, I guess.
Ted's like, what? Do you mean remember how awesome Yager was with Giroux? I do remember how awesome Yager was with Giroux for the one season that we had Yager. But
that's not even close to
Yager was
Yager's
awesome
name right.
with everybody.
Pretty much. I can't imagine any team who didn't love having Yager on their team.
By the way, you spell his last name Jagr.
Yes.
Not Yager.
Ted's saying, watch
Angry.
Yeah. And Ted's saying, watch Ovi do it on our ice.
I warned you guys. I warned everybody I was in a mood today. So
I fucking love it. Brilliant.
Ted's saying that Ovi's probably going to do it on Flyers ice. Yeah, he probably will, come to think about it, because nothing good happens from our perspective on our ice. For everybody else, yes.
It would be kind of funny if he did it in Edmonton, though.
that'd be fitting if you did in Edmonton.
Hell yeah.
Would be.
Would be it just seems like that if it's going to happen that would be the place it'll happen.
I want him to do it in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad either. to see Buffalo fans get.
I would laugh my ass off if he did it in Pittsburgh. But let's see. Troy's saying, respectfully, Brad knows about being old.
That guy, I appreciate that. You like my white locks? But it's real hair, though.
But hey, man, at least you still have hair, man. There's plenty of people rolling around, they don't have hair and everything like that, you know? I mean, at least you got it, you know?
Oh, it's not so bad, Rob.
All right, so let's see here. Moving on from that second period, time to go to the third period.
About how you feel.
Yes. I feel old all the time, by the way.
Me too. Sorry, man.
Every time I get up, my back hurts. So,
All right.
when you get into your 60s, that's what happens, guys.
Maddie, before you do this, I'm going to jump off, boys. I'm tired. I'm running low on a lot of things right now, so I'm going to peace out before I say something I'm going to regret.
All right, Brian, you take it easy, brother.
Don't worry about that, but get some rest.
That's the more important part. I've worked 60 hours this week, so I'm tired.
All right, man.
Okay,
Listen,
brother.
you rest yourself.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Have a good rest of the show.
Take it easy, dude.
You too, brother.
All right. So FanUp. Ooh. Okay, let me fix this.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
All right.
You don't want to look too closely at me. You just don't.
No, that was the right thing to do there.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, folks. Won't happen again.
I apologize. All right. Thanks for radio.
FanUp, the best way to enjoy fantasy sports daily. Contests in all your favorite sports. Not just the NBA, but when they roll back, but also the NHL. They've got MLB going right now. They'll have the NFL, of course, when that season rolls around. So win great prizes. Sign up today and use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points of $50 value. Just go to fanup.app, and there you have it. You'll be getting yourself a nice little extra cash on the side because we do offer A2D memberships. They're only $9.99 a month. Get appearances on shows, members-only streams, shout-outs, weekly sports picks from the Money Pot Podcast in Willie Vegas. Highlight Money Pot Podcast in Willie Vegas because you can go to either BetUS, like we talked about earlier today, or you can go to FanUp. Either one, you can make a little extra cash on the side, and before you know it, you're getting paid to be an A2D member. So there's a lot of benefits to being a member here. All right. And now, gentlemen, it's time to go around the league. Any major stories that you guys want to talk about in terms of trades we haven't covered yet, or any rumors that could be springing up? Obviously, we hit a few of them, but are there any other ones? What's up?
Let's start with Patrick Kane. What is
okay then?
Patrick Kane. If the Blackhawks want to truly stink and make the Flyers look like the Russian, the old Soviet Army, Red Army, okay, they need to trade Patrick Kane as soon as possible.
To the Rangers, right?
Oh yeah, well yeah, of course. That's not going to happen now. We don't have any money left.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you made your shot.
We already did. We already.
That's all right. You just trade them Fox or make a few little cap gymnastics, and there you go. Patrick Kane's yours.
23 years old, and he already won a Norris Trophy.
Listen. Maybe the Rangers, they get a little bit of their old selves from back in the early 2000s, in the late 90s, when they wanted to get a bunch of old guys on the team. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Fox, though. Come on. Why don't you just ask for Kreider, too, while you're at it?
Sure. Why not? Kreider gets thrown.
Throw in strategy while you're at it. I mean, totally destroy the team. Why not?
Listen, a guy can dream, right?
Yeah. Seriously, though, I've heard that he's probably going to play. He's going to be there till the trade deadline, and then they're going to trade him at the deadline because they're figuring somebody's going to be desperate enough to give them another number one pick.
I could see that happen.
As long as he's on the team, I mean, they're going to win a few games every now and then, even if it's by accident.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm trying to think. I could see Carolina grabbing him like at the trade deadline. You know what I mean? Like I could see a move like that happening or something of that nature. The reason why I say Carolina is because Carolina is going all in. You know what I mean? Like they went and got Brent Burns, so that tells you a lot about where this team's head's at.
And he's 38 years old, by the way.
Yeah, I'm very happy he is not on the team for the Sharks anymore. Listen, I respect the hell out of Brent Burns. He did a lot for the Sharks, but you know what? He ain't what he used to be.
No, he's not even close now. Well, I'm wondering if they downgraded from D'Angelo because he's old and slow now.
No, you're right. But again, when you're in that position, I mean, either him, he could go there, or watch Vegas try and go fucking grab him. You know, like honestly,
Vegas is the kind of team that's a Vegas kind of thing to do.
Yeah. Because the thing is, it's like when you see these teams, you see what teams are trying to gamble and trying to just say, fuck it, let's go all in, who gives a shit? And it just, Carolina, to me, I feel like they're in that mindset because they're starting to get antsy about the fact that we've been trying and trying and trying, and we still can't get out of the second round. What the fuck? So it's kind of like one of those things of they're trying. To me, I feel like that's what they're looking at,
Yeah, but their real problem, the reason they never get out of the second round is because they never actually have gotten themselves an actual good goaltender.
I don't. Is he talking about you, Brett?
I saw it.
That's a second reference to Major League on this show.
Yeah.
He does the shimmy. It makes the women in Cleveland want to puke.
John actually said, and he said earlier, he said too.
If I actually could do that, I actually would.
He also said that I hate that I'm bald. I have nightmares that I have a full head of hair. Then I wake up to reality.
Nah, man, bald is beautiful. I wore hats on purpose just to make more fall out.
No, I thought it was so that you don't get sunburned.
That's it. Mostly that now. No, actually, I take the gator that I bought for COVID and I put it on my head now. That way you keep it, because that's what those originally are for. You soak them in water, cold water, and you snap them, and it lowers your body temp like a good 10 degrees.
Yes, I wore one of those to a Yankee game a few years ago because I went to a day game and it was like 90 degrees outside.
Yeah, that's a good day to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you go to that stadium for a day game in the summer, it's brutal.
Sure.
Well, let's see here. Ted was saying, by the way, John, you're not alone. Ted has hair dreams too.
Hey,
but
there's always men's hair now, guys.
You know what I still do? See, I had LASIK too. I used to wear glasses. I had like 2200 vision. I had poor vision. And what I'll do is when I first wake up, I always go to the nightstand and reach for my glasses still to this day. And it's been 15 years since I've had LASIK. I still reach for those glasses, man.
That really does improve your vision that much, doesn't it?
I just had 2020 for 12 years, man. It's like I just had it done yesterday. I got lucky. I got like a really good procedure done. Go ahead, Maddie.
Nice. I was gonna say I just had a vision of Rob with his glasses on. Fireplace going, he's got the suit on, and he's got the smoke. He's got the pipe, and he's like the sophisticated English guy reading a book. With
the wax and the mustache, yeah. Little Raleigh fingers action.
Yeah, there you go. See, I could see more of the Matt Carpenter look for him.
That's right. Matty Carpenter, I was a big free agent fantasy pickup for me. I was like, I know he's going to hit well in Yankee Stadium. I fucking knew it. People were putting me down. I was commenting on our Facebook page that, that's a good pickup for the Yankees. And they're like, he's a bust out. He should call it a career. He wasn't making it on the Rangers team. I'm like, oh yeah, watch how he hits in the Bronx game. Just watch.
You know, I when I heard that they got him, I was like, why? I was like, Cashman, why are you dumpster diving again? And then meanwhile, I forgot two things. he plays in Yankee Stadium and he's left-handed.
Yep.
And he hits a lot of low line drives about 340 feet.
Yep.
But those line drives, as long as they're 8 feet in the air, that's perfect for him.
Right. Oh, totally. I heard a random stat that he hit the most homers in his first 30 games in Yankees franchise history, topping Kevin Moss. I think it was like 13 and 31 or something like that.
Yeah. Kevin Moss was unfortunately nice guy,
Right.
but he's a flat
Out.
man.
Yeah.
But
It happened. Believe me, Mets have had our fair share of them. But the thing of it is that will that production go down from Carpenter? He's a good bench guy, utility guy. You know what I mean? Like but it's just a good guy that you could add to what's normally like a pretty righty lineup. That's maybe not as suited for Yankee Stadium and balance it out. Rizzo was a perfect example of the first, addition. That's a starter that you bring to the team. I love talking baseball. I'm sorry.
Carpenter is playing every day now. By the way,
Is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, I was not aware of that. All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's playing every day now. No, why not? Well, you going to keep playing Joey Gallo and Aaron Hicks?
Yeah, play the hot hand, man. I got that.
Exactly. But let's get back to our
Sure.
Our bread and butter.
Regular scheduled programming.
Yeah.
Anthony's saying, I call it now. Aaron Judge will be a Met. But
you know what? If you want me to vomit all over my computer, just keep saying that, and there's going to be green liquid all over my computer.
But Anthony also did go on. Anthony also did say this. He said that Brad is old. He makes Yager look like his son.
Yeah.
And then he's just brutal right now.
And is Chris Chelios my grandson?
I guess.
Cold-blooded. All right, let me bring it back to a peaceful place. I'm going to give credit to a team that we normally trash here on the Hockey Happy Hour. That's the Pittsburgh Penguins. But they were one of 4 teams nominated for this year's ESPYs for the Sports Humanitarian Team of the Year, along with Miami Heat, Denver Broncos, and the Seattle Storm of the WNBA. I looked into this a little bit more about like what they're doing for the community of the cause, and it's in honoring their efforts to increase diversity and inclusion in hockey, which is so important because there's still black players in this in the lower level leagues and even in the NHL, but more so I'm talking lower level leagues where they're getting bananas thrown at them. I mean, it's 2022. Are you fucking kid? Yeah, man. There was a lot of instances of that this year, but the Penguins introduced the Willie O'Ree, the classic, the Hall of Fame, O'Ree, thank you, Academy, named after the 2018 Hockey Hall of Fame inductee, who became the first black person to play in the NHL in 1958 for the Boston Bruins. But the Academy provides training, social mentorship opportunities for black youth hockey players aged 10 to 17. I think it's great for this game. I mean, it's fantastic. I figured I'd bring that to the show tonight.
Yeah,
well, that's pretty awesome.
That is nice to see. So
and we trashed on the Penguins. So for that Penguins hater that he was trashing the Flyers, trolling the Flyers on YouTube, and I don't know what was up with YouTube today. Today was the day for trolls on YouTube, but we do give credit where credit's due here.
We do. So classy move by you Penguins, and now to take that away because still you're the Penguins. Go fuck yourselves. But at least you did something classy.
True.
All right. Ted saying the player the Sens traded for their 7th pick overall. It sounds like he's going to jump into free agency after next season. He's going to chase the bag. Could you see the Flyers chasing him draft players? Interesting. It depends on what our salary cap situation is, honestly. And if our salary cap situation is not very good, no. I don't see us chasing anybody on free agency.
Build a draft.
Somewhere they had $23 million in cap space next year.
Who,
A
the
lot's gonna be
Flyers?
dropping off. A lot's gonna be dropping off. don't
Yeah,
know
I thought I
the
read. I
exact
thought I
amount.
read that, but maybe it was that's somebody else.
They may very well. They probably are because JVR's last year's coming up, and I believe there's a couple of other things as well that'll be coming up off the books. But I mean, even then, who knows? The Flyers will probably take a freaking all that salary and give it to some shit heap of a player that can't play anymore because that's what they fucking do. But sorry, sorry, just wanted
You
to
should
say.
apologize to Le Cavalier right now for saying that.
No, I will not apologize to Le Cavalier for the worthless shit that he was on the Flyers.
Yeah, he was pretty bad. It was brutal.
Yeah, he was. He was so done when he was.
So raw.
The problem was we brought him in, then we fired Peter Laviolette. It's like, great. So the one guy we would have gotten something out of him with, and he's gone. Now he's shit. Great job, guys. You just this
Right?
fucking team, man. This
It was for his
motherfucking
system.
team.
It was for his system.
They always wait till guys are not only past their prime but can barely skate to get them.
Who was more washed? Vinny LeCavier or Paul Coffey?
I'm actually going to say, Le Cavalier, to be completely honest with you. Really?
You
wanna
just
go
don't
with
remember
Coffey?
Paul Coffey. You're
Yeah,
too young.
Coffee, because Coffee was flamingoing like crazy and screening the goal. You know what I'm talking about too.
That's a good point.
I remember you guys were calling him in the Stanley Cup Finals. I think the year you guys made the Stanley Cup Finals, I believe he was on
97.
the team. Yeah,
Yeah.
97. He was on the team against when they played the Red Wings, and they were calling him the Flamingo. I remember that.
Try not to get that block shot.
Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you what. If somebody does that when Tortorella's coaching, I mean, even Marian Gaborik was blocking shots for the Rangers when Tortorella was coaching there, and that's Marian Gaborik, who never played a day of defense in his life.
Ted's funny. Who was more washed, Sting going to AEW or Sting going to WWE? I'll be honest with you, it's probably AEW.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. He's still taking chair shots and he's hitting his moves. Like he took a what do you call it? A bump off the top rope, or not bump? What do you call it? A spot. Off the top rope into not into the ring, into the I don't know, I'm not a wrestling guy much anymore, but I was like, holy shit! I was surprised.
So maybe it was Sting, but yeah, come to think about it, probably was Sting from WWE because he did take that turnbuckle corner. He was never the same after that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that one on that one. Anyway,
I don't know. Don't listen to me.
Okay.
I'm talking gibberish.
So, was there any other topics around the league you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, we covered a lot throughout the show, in terms of, signings. I got a couple more that I'm going to bring up because some of your questions in the shootout segment. So I don't want to be redundant.
Okay.
Well,
so
what about you're saying Nazem Kadri never didn't sign with the Devils? Because I thought he did. Where do you guys think he's going to end up?
Well, if we had the money, I wouldn't be surprised if we wound up in Philadelphia because he's that kind of a player. But another guy I would have been like, yeah, whoop-de-fucking-do. He's going to get himself fucking suspended for 20 games. But I would say I could see him going to – yeah, I think maybe he goes to the Kings.
You son of a bitch. You stole my thunder. I was just looking up their cap space right now.
Yeah, I think
that would be a good fit for a team that
yeah.
outdone themselves last year and maybe are a piece or two away from being a legit contender in the playoffs.
What about
the Islanders?
Islanders is a good one too.
Maybe.
I like to see that.
I mean, the Islanders are going to try and do better this year than they did last year. But I think the Kings would be a more tempting offer for him, to be honest with you. only because I think the Kings had that little taste. So I think that he might be more interested of being depth on that team, maybe a leadership role in that locker room, especially after what happened when this past playoff. It could be a huge boost for a young team that's up and coming. I mean, they've already got plenty of leadership there. Add a little bit more to it with Kadri, might actually do some bigger things for the Kings next season.
Wait, so we're thinking here, Kings, Islanders, maybe the Devils. Because I thought the Devils,
yeah.
I thought the Devils had signed him. Maybe the Devils are talking to him. Maybe that's it.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they're just discussing.
I thought I read that he was going to be signed with the Devils. I guess that was some Devil fan putting fake news in Facebook.
No, he was. They were in negotiations with Brad. They were in negotiations with him before they made their other deal. Though, like that sort of put like an end to it. They were definitely interested in Kadri. Yeah,
got it. I think he'd be a good fit in the Island. I just hope he doesn't go there. I would hate to see him there. I just want to see him in the West.
How much do you think per year it would take to get Kadri?
7 to 8.
Yeah, Kings can't do it. They only have 2.3 in cap space right now, unless they move things around. So
all right, maybe not them. Think he goes to the Oilers? Yeah, right.
I think there's an equal chance that he goes back to the Avalanche. It's not a foregone conclusion that he signs elsewhere because they're currently trying to clear the necessary cap space to fit him in.
Interesting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
This may be weird only because this would come right out of left field. Two teams in my mind, Minnesota and Dallas.
I think you may have something with Dallas. I don't know about Minnesota. I think Minnesota is going to be saving their money for Kiprusoff.
Yeah, that's a good point. So maybe not Minnesota, but I think Dallas might be an interesting idea because Dallas, they made the playoffs this year.
They need an Energizer Bunny like him. He really fit
well. Yeah, because Dallas had their problems with that.
Dallas was in Minnesota.
It's true. Maybe that was what. Yeah.
The North Stars.
Yeah.
They were from the North Stars to the South Stars.
Yeah. I know. Why did they say South Stars, right?
Or Lone Stars or something, right? Yeah, it's Texas, for fuck's sake. Oh, man. Now, you talk about a kick in the balls. Imagine being a Minnesota North Stars fan. Your team is okay, borderline bad, through most of the late 80s into the 90s. Getting better. You get Mike Modano and what have you. Team moves to Dallas, and then in 99 wins the fucking cup. Talk about a kick to the fucking balls. Oh, and this is before the Wild even came into the league.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Damn.
What about when the Quebec Nordiques moved to Colorado, and the next year they won the cup?
I know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, man.
That was brutal.
And you talk about moving to areas that are non-hockey areas, and for the United States, besides Boston, Minnesota is a huge hockey breeding ground, and Quebec, of course. Yeah, man, that is a kid. What up, Priz?
What up, Priz? Yeah, of course we're happy. He's very happy. We're talking about the Stars.
Yeah. Do you think they can get Kadri? How much cap space does your Stars have?
Yeah, Priz, we were talking about that actually. We're talking about of where he could end up, and we think that I think possibly that he could end up in. I believe that he could end up in Dallas as a possibility because we were debating that. So, see if you agree with that.
That was a crazy freaking wind up from Cortez. That was great. I was so old school.
He did that. He did that on Saturday against the Red Sox and threw a strike.
Nice. Let's see here. Ted's saying, so we lost our longtime captain, then we lose our next captain in Zach McCune. He's probably going to the Avs for the league minimum to win a cup. Well, I mean, I don't know if McCune was going to be our next captain. That's a lot to say there, Ted. But if he winds up going to Colorado to win another cup, watch them not win it. But
I like the spirit. I think Ted's having a few adult beverages with us tonight.
Don't sign Corey Perry and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the jinx.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's jinx.
let's see.
Kadri.
Prisms.
Okay.
Prisms saying don't need Kadri. Need to re-sign Adrabo or Ottinger on Ottinger
Jason Robertson.
first.
Yeah. Robertson.
Yeah.
And let's see.
Great.
Prism saying Wyatt Johnson coming up next year. Oh, okay. So maybe they don't. Calgary. See, I thought about Calgary, but then I thought, well, with the way that Calgary's going, I don't know if they would want to go grab Kadri, at least in my opinion, because I feel like it would just be like, well, if they're going on this sort of exodus, I don't really think it's necessary for them to go get Kadri because it's just like, well, might as well just stock up on draft picks and build for the future.
Right. Well, to hit the floor, maybe they could pay him handsomely, and then it would be a pure money move for Kadri coming off the cup win.
Maybe
collect some dollars.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Put a little extra
Just
cash
to put
away.
Just to put a good team, as good of a team out there. You know what I mean? You got to replace some of the production. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's a possibility.
Yeah, I think he stays put. I think Colorado finds a way.
All right. Anthony's saying Quebec should get another team in the NHL because they got kicked in the balls. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They absolutely.
Not as long as that little weasel Gary Bettman
Yes.
in control.
Gary Bettman.
They're not going to sign the Jinx. No. Sorry, Ted. Not going to happen. They're not signing that Jinx.
Let's see. Prism saying Dallas needs to find anyone to take Sagan. Yeah, but I don't know if too many people will be willing to just because of his injury problems. Talking about a guy who cannot stay healthy. And when he's healthy, he is amazing. Just cannot get off that injury.
He's always hurt.
Yeah.
He is. That's the sad part.
Yeah, it's amazing how often he gets hurt.
The thing is,
Letang used to have that issue too, but it seems like Letang has been able to stay healthy the last couple of years.
Yeah, ever since the stroke, I feel like he's done so much better of not getting hurt. You know what I mean? Like maybe that changed his
probably
lifestyle.
A conditioning thing.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to take your thunder. You had the great point right there.
No, it's okay. We were on the same wavelength on that one. But let's see here. Next up, gentlemen, with that, anything else on Around the League to cover? That's it.
I'm good, man. Let's shoot it out.
All right, shootout time, and that means it's time for us to talk about the doc himself, none other than Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy. If you need an appointment for an ache or a pain that's bothering you and it really interrupts your sleep at night and everything, SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. That's the place to go. Located in Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Make an appointment online at www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com, and they will take care of you. You won't have any more aches and pains. All you got to do is go see the doc. Okay, and now it's time for the shootout segment, and let's dive into that. So, let's get started with the move of the week. Oh, what's up there, Wills? How's it going, man?
What's up, Wills?
Yeah, let's see. Oh, Ted saying, what happens? Flyers win the lottery or Nolan Patrick retires to open his own ice cream stand? Wait.
He turned over the popsicle, too.
Yeah. There you go. That's the nickname. That's the name of the place, Mr. Turnover. See? This is what we do. We come up with great things here at the Hockey Happy Hour.
Trademark it.
All right. Prism saying Nolan Patrick put himself on the LTIR at least twice a week from a brain freeze injury.
Yeah.
So, move of the week, gentlemen. Who do you think made the best move?
You got one in mind, Brad? I got one.
You know, what was the latest trade? There was one big one that was just made. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Wasn't there one that was just made?
John Marino to the Devils.
Yes, John Marino to the Devils, and who went to the Penguins? But John Marino, I like him for the
Oh,
Devils.
Patrick. Yeah.
Petrie to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Jeff Petrie.
I do like that fit too, though, Brad.
Yeah, I think that's a good fit because you know what? As young as the Devils are, to get a nice young defenseman that's, to me, looked real good in the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, I thought Marino was probably their other than of course the great Chris Letang. Marino was outstanding in the playoffs against the Rangers. I thought he was solid as a rock. To be honest with you, he's a good puck mover. He knows what he's doing when he has the puck. He plays well defensively. He's going to help the Devils.
Yeah, they gave up.
I hate to see the Devils improve in any way, shape, or form, but that was a good move for them.
Shirley replaces former defenseman Ty Smith. He goes back to Pittsburgh along with a third-round pick in this year's draft.
He got drafted by Pittsburgh, didn't he?
Ty Smith, he might have.
I think he did.
He's a guy I liked early on, I know. Fantasy-wise.
What's up, Pete? Prism saying, "Oh, I've always liked John Marino."
Yeah, he's a good he's a good defenseman.
No, he was drafted 17. Yeah, he was 17 overall pick, Ty Smith, by the Devils.
He was. I thought he was drafted by Pittsburgh.
They might have had another Ty Smith. That's like, you know, Rob Jones. But yeah, I'm with you. You know what? Sadly, that was sort of the addendum to my move of the week, but I'm sticking with the fucking Devils. Them signing Andre Palat for 5 seasons, $30 million. I think that was the steal of free agency. I know he's not that, 30 goal scorer, but he just brings a lot to your team, especially when it comes, towards the end of the season, going into playoffs. He's a grinder.
He's a Barclay Goodrow type of player.
Right.
There's a lot more to it than just the scoring. It's the leadership role that he brings, the toughness, the respect in the locker room, the respect around the league, that the whole thing. Also, the pedigree of being on a champion twice. They needed a guy like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Jack Hughes is not ready to be the leader of that team yet.
Plus, it tears down a little bit of the Lightning. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
But sadly, it's the Devils. But
I would say probably the move of the week for me. I kind of like the move that Columbus did for going and getting Goudreau. The reason why is because I think that really helps kind of supercharge Columbus again. They lost Cam Atkinson. Patrick Laine is okay, for that team, but I think they really needed a goal scorer. They needed someone who's going to be in that position. I think that Columbus made a good move on this one.
Their GM and president are terrific. John Davidson definitely knows what he's doing. Okay, and am I surprised at all that John Davidson was able to get Johnny Gaudreau to play in Columbus? No, John Davidson has a way of getting stars to play for him. He really does.
Yeah, and I think that we're going to see a lot from Johnny out there in Columbus. So I think that's going to ultimately really be a huge benefit for them moving forward. may very well make Columbus a much more terrifying team to go up against once again. I mean, over the last couple of seasons, they've kind of taken a bit of a step back. This might get them back to a little bit more firmer footing that they had a few years ago when they were
Guess
making
what?
playoffs.
Line A now wants to negotiate with Columbus for an extension.
Yep. That's going to be a key thing.
I forgot to add that, but Line A now wants to start talking contract with them because they've been bugging him about it, and he said no, and then after they signed him, his agent got in contact with them and said, okay, now let's talk. So, that's something he's probably thinking about.
Yep, definitely. So, okay. All right.
As I said, him, Jenner, and Johnny Gaudreau, that's a hell of a line.
Yeah,
it is.
It really is. It puts them back up to the prominency that they lost when they lost Dubois. Because, see, Lane's that sniper, but Dubois was that, certainly a goal scorer, but playmaker too. And that's what Gaudreau,
Dubois is tremendous. He's a tremendous player. But listen, if you're asking me who I would rather have between Laine and Dubois, I'd take Laine every time. Laine can just put up 40 goals in the league.
Yeah, he's just a little too cold and streaky, and I get it. But yeah, that shot is sick. But I'm just saying in terms of what you lost in an element in a player in Dubois, and now you have Laine too. You know what I mean? And Gaudreau's a better Dubois. You know what I mean?
He is. That's the thing. And Dubois, who knows what's going to happen with him? He may be a free agent. He's probably going to be a free agent after this season.
I'll be.
Winnipeg can't decide what to do with him. So
that's true. So yeah, that would be my pick for the move of the week. Ted is saying, has any of the Hughes brothers broke out yet? Luke Hughes had a really good season a couple years back with Vancouver, but ever since then, the Vancouver's had their problems and they cannot get consistency. Other than that, though, yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, Jack Hughes has had his moments, but he's not had a breakout yet.
Oh, he had a good year last year until he got hurt.
Yeah.
Back, he was tremendous. I mean, the one thing the Devils could do last year was score. They couldn't stop.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop anybody, but boy, they could score last year.
If he hadn't gotten hurt, I would have put Jack Hughes there, but because he got hurt, it derailed it. And it's just we'll have to see if he rebounds this year, but
I have a feeling he's going to rebound this year. He's going to be. I think he's going to be a very big time player.
Damn it!
Yeah, I got it.
Damn it to hell! Literally.
They say move of the week. Keith Yandel's leaving to free agency. Actually, he's leaving to the retirement home.
Yes.
Yeah, unless he decides to go play in Switzerland or something.
Yeah, right.
Fine.
All I know is don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Bye.
Bye, Yandel. Thank you for whatever the fuck that was.
Setting a record on the Flyers. At least that'll go in where.
Yeah, and to think that we traded. Who did we trade again? Who was the black kid? Anthony Duclair.
Duclair. Right.
Well,
he would look good. He'd look good. He'd look good in red, white, and blue right now.
Yeah,
I mean, it's okay. It's not like Anthony Duclair hasn't done anything with Florida. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. That's a bad example. I was trying to make you feel better there. I couldn't.
Yeah, thanks. He actually played pretty well in Winnipeg too when he got traded there, and wherever he gets traded to, he always seems to play well. So
he even played well in Arizona.
Yeah, AD couldn't stand him when he was on the Rangers. Couldn't stand him. He couldn't play defense.
Yeah.
Well, he still can. Nothing really changed there, but he's allowed to score.
I was going to say 5 years later, it's not going to get any better.
Yeah, nothing changed. Yeah.
What did I hear? Matt Delgado. Did he just sign with the Tampa Bay Lightning?
He might
Did he?
have. Delzato?
Yeah, Michael Delzato. Former Ranger, former
Flyer. Yeah.
lousy in both teams.
Former Lisa Ann Stalker. Yeah.
Former 10th round draft pick player who we drafted before Jaden Schwartz, who used to be with the Blues.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Sounds stellar.
I like that.
Yeah, that was
That's
that was a brilliant draft pick.
Didn't feel like a waste at all.
No, not at all. No, and then the Blues couldn't wait to go out and grab Jaden Schwartz. So
There you go.
Yeah.
That's all right. Schwartz didn't turn it. He's a bum. He never turned into anything.
No. The 25 goals a year he used to score at St. Louis, that meant nothing.
Yeah, that meant nothing. Still, he's a
Who
bum.
couldn't get the puck out of the zone if he had a freaking army tank.
Although, ironically, every time when we had him on the Flyers, I think I went to like 2 or 3 Flyers games, and he scored every single game, which made me laugh my ass off. I was like, so Michael Delzato can't score any other time except when I'm watching.
Probably not. Not only probably not, but also most likely there were probably 2 or 3 goals scored because of him on the ice with one of his.
That's a good point.
True story.
I mean, I was a guy that panicked every time he had the puck and somebody forechecked him. He used to panic.
Oh my god!
Blow the whistle.
Let's see.
I mean, he was fun. Listen, he could rush the puck, and he was fun to watch when he was rushing the puck. But when he had the puck in his own zone, and he started playing, D-to-D passing and stuff. He would always go across the ice. He would never even try to get out of the zone if there was a forechecker because he was afraid he's going to lose the puck.
Okay. Prism say mine is Giroux to the Sens to mentor Stutzla and Norris and Kachuk. That's a big deal. Giroux going there, that could definitely help them with leadership and what have you. I hope the best for Giroux. I really do.
I think he'll be pretty good there, actually.
I think so too. Ted saying he meant the Hughes brothers on the Devils. Well, like we were talking about, Hughes, Jack had an opportunity, but he got hurt, and that's what killed
Jack
his.
was having a big year.
Yeah. Let's see. Prism saying PLD's agent, Pierre-Luc Dubois, already said he wants to play in Montreal. Really? Let's go to Montreal. Okay. You want to go to Montreal? Guess it's not French Canadian enough there in Columbus, Ohio. So
yeah, I was going to say, there'd be no pressure on him going to Montreal, would there?
No,
not the slightest.
Oh my god. He might be really dumb though too. Maybe he doesn't understand that Montreal is probably got the meanest fan base out of the entire NHL. They are ruthless and nasty. They when they were winning Stanley Cups, I remember Yvan Cournoyer, who used to be a great player on the Canadiens, one time had a breakaway and he hit the post and they started booing him.
The one time he hits the post.
I mean, this guy was a Hall of Fame, and he always was. That guy was fast. Even that guy could play in today's game easily when he was in his prime because of his speed. That guy could fly. But he was an unbelievable player.
Yeah, and yet,
they used to boo Ken Dryden all the time.
Yeah,
they were impossible. Those fans were impossible.
Well, that's what happens when you win the cup every year. You get entitled. And it's like, why didn't you score every single time you have the puck? What the fuck is wrong with you? How dare you miss a shot? How dare you be human?
I know it was against the Rangers, and I know that they were losing. It was a game where they were getting their asses kicked, and the fans were booing the hell out of them the entire game. And I remember when Cournoyer did that, I think Jim Gordon was the announcer, and Jim Gordon goes, "Boy, it's tough to play in Montreal."
I After the Flyers, Danny B went to the Canadians before finishing his career with the Avalanche. He had one season there. You know, he was washed at that point, but still put up like 13 goals, 25 points. Booed the fucking piss out of him. I was like, Jesus, man.
They're rough.
Yeah, because they wanted Danny B from Buffalo days as a French Canadian man, and they didn't understand what player they were getting.
They didn't realize that we got those years out of him.
Yeah, well, just like when the Rangers got Chris Drury, they thought that they were getting the Chris Drury that was great in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And it was great in the Olympics. Little did they know that they were getting an old man that, although he's a really good GM right now, he sure as hell wasn't. Good player.
See, what is it with Buffalo giving up their good players, and then some of them go and are shit on other teams, and others of them actually play even better on the other teams. Like, damn, Buffalo, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
I don't know. That's been going on. That's been going on forever with that team.
That's true. All right, so let's see here. Prism saying Montreal already said they're not giving up key assets to get him. I'm 98% sure he'll be traded as a rental before he gets to Montreal as a UFA. And then
why would Montreal start giving up draft picks when you know that they're going to be horrible again next year?
Yeah, I know. It's like there'd be no point. It's saying.
I'll tell you what scares me about Montreal is I could see them trading Carey Price, and I could see him ending up on Carolina, and that would be very bad.
Yeah.
As a Ranger fan, that would really, really, really be bad.
Find his game in Carolina.
Yep.
Yeah. Ted's saying, if you're in our division, you got a player in a slump, just play the Flyers. They will get a better draft status. You get confidence. Nice. There you go. It's a win-win on both sides. We get better draft pick. They get a – yeah. I think that's a fair trade. Jimmy saying, what's up? What's up, Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Okay, so move on from Move of the Week. Let's go to our hot take of the week. Gentlemen, throw it at me.
Well, I'm going to recycle one. I first commented on the rant booth, and then I said it last night to get a laugh out of the boys last night. So, I got to bring it to tonight's show. Johnny Hockey would have flopped more in Philly than Johnny Football did in Cleveland.
You know what? To be honest with you, that's exactly how that would have gone down, to be completely honest with you. And you want to know why? Because we're not allowed to have fucking nice things. Johnny would have gotten here. He would have gotten Philadelphia-itis, and he would have sucked so hard, and we would have signed him to that 8-year deal, and we would be pissing all over him every single week. Johnny Hockey sucks. Why the fuck did we go get him? It's like, you're the same dipshit that said that the Flyers should have gotten him 5 years ago. But anyway.
you'd have Delorier to protect him, but you have no other bigger players for him to play with for him to get free.
Yeah.
People understand hockey. They're just like, a superstar wants to come to Philly, and Chuck Fletcher didn't get it done. Well, yeah, you're right in the criticism, but you're wrong in the rationale.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's frustrating. Okay. And I want to encourage people to follow the game of hockey because it's beautiful, but
very exciting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's a very simple game.
Hmm.
You put the puck in the net. Yeah, the puck goes in the net. Okay.
It is, but for some people, it's rocket science.
Pass, shoot, score.
You can't stand over the blue line. You can't go in past the blue line until somebody who has the puck goes into the defensive zone.
But you can now hover, which is good.
You can jump and make it look like you're standing on the blue line.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
I got one for you. Okay. The over-under for how many minutes it will take when the Rangers play the Flyers for Ryan Reeves and Nick Delorier to fight.
I love it. I love it.
When they were in Vegas and Anaheim, they were always fighting.
Oh, they got a history.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
I didn't
can't
know
stand
that.
each other.
Oh,
Okay.
They have rounds
Zero.
according to NHL, according to the hockeyfights.com. I think they have rounds. Each fight's
oh,
considered a round.
Oh my
nice.
god, that's great.
It'll be on
So,
their third shift.
It was like
I'm thinking the first shift that they're out against each other.
Just the very
gonna
first.
say
Wow. No
Yeah.
pleasantries.
0.00001 second it will take before those two will drop the gloves on each other.
You want to
But-
go? Sure.
It's been a long time. How you doing? They're punching each other in the mouth.
Yeah. I mean, it was like Donald Brashear with Ty Domi. They always fought each other. It didn't matter what team Brashear was on. He always fought Domi every time Toronto faced whatever team he was on.
like McSorley and Bobby Probert back in the day too.
Yep.
Yeah, they went at it a lot.
Brawl. Still the best fight I've ever seen to this day. One of them. It's hard to keep track.
Now, if you want to do a great fight, go check out Terry O'Reilly and Clark Gillies in the Nassau Coliseum, I think in 1979 on hockeyfights.com. That was
Say it again?
wild. They both beat the crap out of each other. It was a draw.
Say it again?
Clark Gillies and who?
Terry O'Reilly.
And Terry O'Reilly.
Take a look at some of their fights because there's more than one. There's multiple.
You ever want to watch bloodbaths, though? You know who used to always draw blood in his fights? Craig Berube. Back when he was playing, like when he would actually fight someone, that guy was bleeding. Like every single time he was done fighting. And I'm like, good God, Berube. Do you have one fight where you didn't bust the fucker open? Like, holy shit.
You know, we used to say he was from the State Nervous Center. There's the guy from the State Nervous Center, Craig Berube.
Oh, O'Reilly was the dude that went into the stands.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's a great hockey shot. Sorry.
Yeah, he's Terry. Check out some of his fights with Clark Gillies. I mean, he had one in Boston where he got his brains beat in. So the next time he fought him, he made sure that he got like the first 10 punches in. He basically, Pearl Harbored him. Wrestling term there. He Pearl Harbored him and beat the crap out of him. But they had one in the Coliseum. I think both teams ended up on the ice in a bench clearing brawl. But you got to check them out. Either they're on YouTube or hockeyfights.com. But go online and check out some of their fights. Oh my God! If you want to see bloodbaths, those two. Ooh.
You know what? May he rest in peace. You know who was a scary guy to watch fight because he would beat the piss out of people? Boogaard. The fucking boogeyman. When he would come out from Minnesota, holy shit. You're like, yeah, you don't want to fuck with Boogaard. He will end you.
No. That was like Chara when he was young.
Yeah, and he was in Ottawa and he was always fighting.
Who was it? Who's the guy that Evander Kane pissed him off one night about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And he got into a fight with Charge. I mean, I think he was like 40 at this point, you know.
He kicked him! He fucking kicked him with his skate! I'm watching it now, sorry.
Which fight are we talking about?
This was April 19th, 1980.
What's up, Tom?
This is the year after you were talking.
Oh, O'Reilly and
Round
Gillies?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, O'Reilly and Gillies, yeah.
I told you. Those two were nuts.
Crazy.
See, when you're old, there are certain fights you remember back in the day that were really crazy. I mean, Clark Gillies, Schultz, Larry Robinson, all those guys they were all pretty good players, but boy, were they mean. Ooh.
Yeah, for me, it's McSorley, man. And Prober. I still remember where I was at. I was tasked to clean my mom's office because I was bad, extra chores, and I snuck ESPN on. We had a Commodore screen, right? But I hooked the cable to it, and got
Nice.
the game on through the used it as a monitor.
Nice.
And I watched that while I was supposed to be cleaning, and I was like, "Oh my god, so much blood!"
Oh my god, that's great. I think for me, like, it would be honestly, it's not even one fight. It's that game between Philadelphia and Ottawa where literally like 60 fights broke out, and it all started because Brashear got into it with somebody, and it wasn't Chara, it was somebody else.
It was the goalie. It was the goalie on Ottawa.
Yes.
Being the goalie for you guys eventually. The black
Yeah. Okay. It was Emery. Emery. Yeah.
Ray Emery was the best fighting goalie I ever saw.
Oh yeah. I still love that when he grabbed Braden Holtby. Flyers getting the shit kicked out of him, and friggin' he just goes up to Holtby, starts beating the shit out of him.
He was heavyweight champion among goalies.
Oh yeah, he definitely was.
But I would give an honorable mention to like Hextall and Carey Price. Those two get honorable mentions. But Emery, Emery was the champ. He was undefeated.
Oh my god!
The person said always been favorable to Chelios and Hatcher. Ooh. Well, Chelios was that kind of player who would piss you off to the point where eventually it's like Chelios knew he was going to get into a fight anyway, so he's just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to get into a fight. I'm just going to piss as many people off as I can while I'll do it.
Yeah, well, he did that. You still watching more Gillies and O'Reilly?
Yeah, here's the link to that one. I just threw it in the private chat. That was a fucking good one from '77.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Was that the one when he got him off the face-off?
Yeah,
I
think. No, he took him into he took him into the boards off the face-off, and then they were just playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots with each other's heads right along the boards and in the bench.
Yeah, Matt, if you get a chance, you got to watch those two.
I'll watch that. But I'm gonna say,
how many rounds do they have of them? They must have at least 3 or 4 rounds.
Yeah, I just saw 3 on YouTube, 1 from '77 and 2 from '80. But I'm trying to find the '79 one.
Did you find the one? Did you find the one at the Coliseum when the bench is emptied?
No, I didn't get. Oh yeah, no, that was the first one I watched from '80.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that was the best.
Good.
That was the best one.
Yeah.
And then Prism saying, he's talking about Wah and how Wah liked to fight. Yep, Wah loved fighting.
Yes,
Every 5 seconds. Oh, I still remember that. The freaking war between Avalanche and the Red Wings. They beat the shit out of each other. Wah comes racing out of the net. Was it Osgood? Or was it? No, it was Vernon. Vernon comes out the other side, and they just, boom, crash right into each other, start beating the shit out of each other.
Yep. Yeah, Roy got beat up, though. He
did. Oh, my God.
Roy used to win most of his fights, but that was one he didn't win.
Yeah.
If I stand correct, I think it was Claude Lemieux who started the whole damn thing anyway, because Lemieux did something fucking dirty, and then that pissed off the Red Wings, and then
I think that was when Lemieux hit somebody from behind, one of their Draper. I think Lemieux hit Draper from
yes.
behind.
Chris Draper, wow.
Yeah, and then Darren McCarty saw it, and right? McCarty was just like, "Oh no, that's not how this shit's going down."
was it him or did he hit McCarty and Draper went after him? I can't. It was one of those two guys.
No, I think it was Draper, and I think McCarty went after him.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, then I was right the first time.
Because McCarty was known for that. McCarty was known for dropping the gloves at the, and standing up for the players. Draper wasn't afraid either. No.
Yeah, Draper used to lose most of the time, though. He wasn't. He was a fighter, but not a winning fighter.
Yeah.
If fighting was, if he was a wrestler fighter, he would be like Iron Mike Sharp.
A jobber.
Yeah, like every once in a while he beat somebody.
A willing participant.
Most of the time he was like a stepping stone for the next guy you wanted to fight.
Yeah. Oh, I got you. To get the fighter's confidence up. Yeah.
Right.
And Ted saying, there's a video warm-ups. A player tries to score on Hextall, and they move Hextall off the ice so he doesn't get kicked out of the game. Big fight between the Flyers. Not sure. Montreal. It was Montreal that they did that.
Yeah, they shot
in
the
the-
puck in the net after warm-ups, and Hextall went nuts.
Yeah, and Hextall got pissed because that was like I think it was Lemieux and Chelios. I think they both did that. They were both, that was their pregame ritual where they would shoot the puck into the other team's net after warm-ups. Hextall didn't like that. So,
Yeah, I don't remember which one pissed them off. I think it was I think it was Chelios that they ended up having a fight before the game. It was like a
I think
slap shot. It was like slap shot when there was no referees on the ice, and they had a big ball before the game started, and the referees weren't even on the ice.
And then
One of the Flyers had his shirt off, and he's fighting with his pants.
Yep, that was stemming from the Brian Propp injury when he slew foot him and he cracked his skull on the ice. They were like the next time they got against Chelios, that you knew that was going to happen.
Yep, and that was Hextall jumped his ass. That shit was funny.
Yeah, Hextall did not play.
No, he did not. I mean, how many players did you see go around right in front of Hextall's crease, and Hextall just like, get the fuck out of my crease, and would just whack you with his paddle? Like, he's like, holy.
Not bother standing too close to him so that he couldn't do that.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there was a certain Islanders goaltender who I think he clearly took a lot of inspiration from, who used to do
Billy
the same
Smith?
Fucking thing. Yeah, he used to do it all the fucking time,
I remember
too.
Billy Smith reached over the net to try to hit Gretzky behind the net. With his stick. He reached over with his stick like that, overhand, to try to hit Gretzky.
Yeah, to me, it's just like, you know what? It's no surprise that Hexy did what he did, because obviously he was a fan of Billy Smith. It was clear as day. He was a huge...
Yeah. The difference is Billy Smith never fought. He always had Clark Gillies to protect him, or Gary Howitt to protect him, so he never had to worry about that. He could do just about anything he wanted.
Yeah. All right, gents. I think that's a good place to end it on. So that will do it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. We thank everybody for joining us. And next week we will be back. The off-season will still be going full bore. Next week, I guess we'll see what we do. We'll find out where we're at. Will we get other moves from the Flyers in terms of re-signings? Will we get trades? What will we get from this team moving forward here, Robbie?
I have a suggestion.
And
why
what
don't
is
we
that?
why don't we put like 8 to 10 of the all-time greatest fighters and put them in like a tournament versus each other to see who would win?
And then we could go to YouTube, and see who would win, who won, because they probably fought each other.
Yeah, probably did. Yeah. See if they. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because you could go back and you could see anybody you want. I mean, Gillies and Schultz fought like 3 or 4 times, but the one everybody remembers is the one in the playoffs. But Gillies got beat up by Schultz a couple of times before that fight.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, we'll definitely have to take a look. Yeah, I like that idea. We'll definitely move forward on that. Now, Prism does want us to answer this question before we sign off. Can anyone name the only player to get Gretzky to drop the gloves without using the internet? And he said, also answer my questions first, you beautiful goons.
New Jersey Devils.
You got it?
Damn. Right off the bat, Brad just like, fuck it, I know this already.
Say again, I didn't hear you.
I think it was Aaron Broughton. I know it was when they played the Devils, and he called them a Mickey Mouse organization.
Wow.
And that's what it had. I think it was Aaron Broughton, but I'm not 100% sure, but I thought that was the guy that went after him.
That was not what I was thinking, but I think
I could be wrong, but I could be wrong about the player, but I'm pretty sure it was him.
Well, you have Broughton, but it was Neil Broughton.
Neil Broughton
was on the North Shore.
I'm sorry. I got the Broughton right. It was his brother. I'm sorry.
My bad. That's fine.
Yeah.
My answer was Esa Tikkanen, so you were far better than me.
I was close. It was his brother. I knew it. I thought it was. I thought that Aaron Broughton had a fight with him. But yeah, okay. Neil Broughton. Yeah, Neil Broughton was a Hall of Famer, I believe, or if he wasn't, he should be, because he was a hell of a player.
He was a hell of a player,
And
absolutely.
he was also on the Olympic team that won in 1980 too.
Yep, exactly. That's how I know him originally. But apparently, shit talking runs in the family.
I mean, funny thing is too is like Neil Broughton. If he's not in the Hall of Fame, the only reason why I would think he's not is because he was on the North Stars, and that's not a knock on the North Stars. It's just one of those things of that division was not the best, and so I think a lot of people kind of hold that against teams. And I don't.
There's a lot of guys on the North Stars who should. Bill Goldsworthy, Dennis Hextall.
Yeah.
Bobby Smith, remember him?
Yeah, Bobby Smith. Yeah.
There's
a lot of great players. It's just, again, I think the problem is
Brett Lindros.
Brett Lindros.
And
there
Primo,
you go.
Primo had a brother too in the league, right? Wayne Primo.
Wayne Primo. And the funny part of it is though is that like Brett and Eric actually got into a fight when Brett was with the Islanders, which was hilarious.
Yeah, they did. They did. I think Brett ended up getting a concussion from that fight.
That runs in the family too.
That's the funny part. It's just like, damn, Eric. The least
when Eric Stoll gave Mark Stoll a concussion.
That was actually, yeah. Yep.
And his father was all pissed off at Eric. He's, why would you hit your brother so hard?
Right? Yeah, I remember that. Wow.
What I find funny, that whole thing too, it's just like I was seeing that. I was like, damn, Eric, the least you could have done was held up on your brother. Fuck, bro. like that's your brother. I can understand if, because then I also saw some of the fights he had with Scott Stevens. And yes, Scott Stevens is a fucking thug. But at the same time, though, back in the day when Lindros was still young and Stevens was young, they used to fight all the fucking time. Like they would drop the
Lindros can throw away.
Yeah. What I thought was funny though is like I watched this, like, damn man, like could you imagine having a player like that on the Flyers today? It's like the dude can score, he can assist, he's the top player on the team, he's the captain of the team, and he fights people too. It's like, holy shit. No wonder everybody loved Lindros.
That was the big draw to him, because he had said before he got drafted that as soon as he comes in the league, he's going to kick Mario Lemieux's ass.
That's true.
And that's a fact.
That's true. The problem is Lemieux wasn't stupid. He didn't drop the gloves ever. Well, okay, correction. He did once, and that was against the Capitals in a playoff game because the Caps were pissing him the fuck off. That's why.
Okay. I can't believe I got the Broughton thing wrong, though. I could have sworn it was Aaron. But I knew it was Broughton. Wait a minute. Neil Broughton played for the Devils.
He did. But he also played for the North Stars too.
No, I know. But maybe he played for the Devils, and that was when he. I'd have to go to the tape for that one.
Okay.
We'll look into it more for next show.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we'll sign off, guys. We thank you for joining us. We love everybody out there who's supporting the show and supporting A2D. If you want to keep on supporting us, not just the Hockey Happy Hour, but you also want to support A2D as well, there is a place to go to do that. That's to get yourself some A2D merchandise, and it's a lot of great stuff there. PhillyDrinkers.com, A2D Radio, T-shirts for shows. They also got mugs, shorts, all kinds of great stuff. We got new designs that are always coming out all the time, and great people over there at Philly Drinkers who have just been awesome ever since we started working with them, and they just keep on pumping out great stuff for us. So go check that out. Get yourself some A2D apparel. It's a great way to support us here and support not just the Hockey Happy Hour, but A2D as well. And one more time, for good measure, our show sponsor, none other than Manscaped. Listen, guys, life is hard as it is, but the last thing you want to do is have some bad hygiene to go along with it. Throw out your old hygiene habits, upgrade your life, get that confidence booster, and use that A2D code for 20% off and free shipping, so that way you can clean yourself up, feel confident, feel like a king of the world, That's how you do it. Manscaped. All right. We'll see you guys next week. We'll talk some more about fighters. We'll see if anything major in the offseason happens. Until then, guys, peace and love. Take care of yourselves out there. We'll see you next week.